Chapter 1895. Initially, Yi Xian had planned to go to the Black Dragon battlefield for another round of slaughter, but now that someone was giving him money, it saved him a lot of time. As his cultivation increased, the world-destroying ghost dragon's speed of merging with the dragon roots would also increase. It only took the world-destroying ghost dragon 3 days to completely merge with the 300,000 dragon roots. His strength had increased once again. Based on my current situation, there won't be any problems if I want to be promoted to the Black Dragon Institute. Yi Xian thought in his heart as he applied to the Black Dragon Institute. At this point, who in the Black Dragon Institute didn't know Yi Xian? Even in the inner palace, there were many people who personally came to meet Yi Xian, including many female disciples. If they could climb up to Yi Xian, they would soar to the sky. However, Yi Xian already had 2 wives in his family, so he did not dare to flirt anymore. His cold face directly cut off these female disciples. Soon, Yi Xian was promoted from the Black Dragon Institute's outer palace to the inner palace. Senior brother, I've entered the inner palace. After entering the inner palace, Yi Xian quickly sent a voice transmission to Hu Feng. Good, come and find me. Hu Feng replied. After asking around, Yi Xian found out where Hu Feng lived and immediately rushed over. When he arrived at Hu Feng's residence, Hu Feng happened to be walking out. It's been a while since we last met. Your cultivation has actually broken through a lot. Amazing, amazing. Hu Feng couldn't help praising. Senior brother is overpraising me. Yi Xian humbly replied. Master is still in seclusion. He said that he'll come back to see you after you obtain the Black Dragon's inheritance. Hu Feng said. In truth, Yi Xian was not interested in this Black Dragon Institute's chief, but the Black Dragon's inheritance that Hu Feng mentioned attracted his attention. Senior brother, what is the Black Dragon's inheritance? Yi Xian asked curiously. I know that you can obtain the Black Dragon's inheritance by passing through the Black Dragon stream. In other words, you've obtained the Dragon Soul's approval. Hu Feng explained. The Dragon Soul was the Black Destruction Dragon's soul from countless years ago. Then, how can we enter the Black Dragon stream? Yi Xian asked in surprise. Only half-step true venerables can enter the first layer of the Black Dragon stream, the second layer is true venerables, and so on. The Black Dragon Ravine has a total of 5 levels. Only by entering the 3rd level, the Black Dragon Ravine, can one possibly encounter a dragon soul. Hu Feng answered. The first level is a half-step true sovereign, the second level is a true sovereign, then wouldn't the 5th level be a half-step saint? Yi Xian raised an eyebrow. The 3rd level was at the half-step true emperor level. He should be able to reach it if he went all out right now. There's no need for you to challenge the Black Dragon Tower. The inner tower is the same as the outer tower, with a total of 30 floors. If you need the dragon origin, feel free to come find me, or enter the 1st and 2nd layer of the Black Dragon stream and obtain it yourself. Hu Feng said. In fact, Yi Xian had already spent all of the dragon origins. However, he didn't want to ask Hu Feng for it now. After all, the other party might be suspicious. Thus, his plan was to enter the Black Dragon stream and obtain the top-grade dragon scales himself. Senior brother, I'll take my leave first. Yi Xian cupped his fists at Hu Feng and left. This Black Dragon stream was a pretty good place. The first 2 levels shouldn't be a problem for Yi Xian. Then, Yi Xian would have to do it himself. The Black Dragon Institute had several 100,000 outer disciples and close to 100,000 inner disciples. With Yi Xian's cultivation, it was impossible to find anyone lower than him. However, there was no one who didn't know his face. After asking around, Yi Xian made a beeline for the Black Dragon stream. He was going to enter seclusion again. The outer palace was called the Black Dragon Battlefield, while the Black Dragon stream was called the Black Dragon stream. When Yi Xian arrived at the Black Dragon stream through the transmission array, he was a little surprised. The Black Dragon battlefield was filled with dragon roars, but there was no sound in the Black Dragon stream. It was a little strange. However, he soon found out. Right now, I'm at the 1st level of the Black Dragon stream. The Black Dragons here are at least half-step true venerables. Yi Xian was thinking in his heart when he saw a black shadow flying over from the horizon. However, when he squinted his eyes, he discovered that it wasn't a black dragon. It was a strange dragon. To be more precise, it was a Kirin dragon. It didn't have any life and was actually a Kirin dragon formed by some top-grade dragon scales and ordinary dragon scales. This is convenient, I don't have to fuse with them. Xian narrowed his eyes and directly went up to meet the Kirin dragon. He estimated that this Kirin dragon was a 6th grade half-step true venerables. With the world-destroying ghostly dragon's strength, it wouldn't be a problem to deal with it. Sure enough, the world-destroying ghostly dragon killed the Kirin dragon in one strike. However, Xian also noticed something. This Kirin dragon wasn't affected by the myriad beasts diagram. After all, it wasn't a beast. It seems like this black dragon stream isn't that easy to pass. Xian sighed and collected the scattered dragon scales, then continued on his way. This Kirin dragon brought him a lot of benefits, relatively more than the black dragon. In the following days, Xian also spent his time in the first layer of the black dragon stream. He stayed there for more than a month. In this 1 month, he had lost count of how many Kirin dragons, bone dragons, and blood dragons he had killed. Not only did he break through to 1st grade true emperor, but the number of top-grade dragon scales he had fused with the world-destroying ghostly dragon had also reached 60 million. This was a terrifying number because even the holy envoys might not have more than the world-destroying ghostly dragon. The world-destroying ghostly dragon's bloodline feels similar to the black destruction dragon's bloodline. I wonder if I can encounter a dragon soul. Xian thought to himself. If he could obtain the black dragon's inheritance, the world-destroying ghostly dragon's strength would definitely soar. However, he was currently in the first layer of the black dragon stream. The chances of encountering a dragon soul were 0 because dragon souls would only appear in the 3rd layer of the black dragon stream. Thus, Xian decided to continue on his journey. Many of the other geniuses of the Black Dragon Institute were also in the black dragon stream. However, as their cultivation increased, their ability to challenge those with higher realms would decrease. The world-destroying ghostly dragon, on the other hand, was able to maintain this record. Of course, when the world-destroying ghostly dragon reached the true emperor realm or half-true saint realm, it would no longer be able to challenge those with higher realms. He had a feeling that there was a limit to the number of top-grade dragon scales he could fuse with, although he didn't know what it was. At this time, he was already on his way to the 2nd layer of the black dragon stream. The Kirin dragons, bone dragons, and blood dragons here were at least at the true venerable realm. The benefits he obtained from killing them were also much better than the 1st layer. Following that, he continued to kill, and the world-destroying ghostly dragon's strength continued to increase. After fusing with so many top-grade dragon scales, the world-destroying ghostly dragon's strength continued to increase. Xian estimated that the number of top-grade dragon scales the world-destroying ghostly dragon had fused with was close to 100 million. Chapter 1896. A genius with 100 million scales. Not to mention 100 million scales. No one in the Black Dragon Institute had ever reached 10 million scales. Only the 8 Black Dragon Holy Envoys had reached 10 million scales. As for Hu Feng and that vice leader Chen, Xian had no idea. During his time in the Black Dragon stream, Xian had run into quite a few fellow disciples, but they spent most of their time in the Black Dragon stream, thus they did not recognize Xian. However, this time, Xian ran into someone while he was hunting a dragon. It was a young man with a strong aura, but Xian couldn't tell what realm he was at. With the previous experience, Xian kept his distance from this person, guarding against him. "Junior brother, there's no need to be so cautious," the young man said. "What's the matter?" Xian asked directly. "It's like this, I'm called Yuan Lai, and I'm here specifically to look for junior brother." The young man grinned, then transmitted his voice. "I wonder if junior brother Yi wants to climb even higher?" "Climb even higher? What do you mean?" Xian asked in confusion. "Climb even higher means that you can change to a new environment, one that's better than the Black Dragon Institute." Yuan Lai transmitted his voice. Hearing this, Xian's eyes narrowed. What did this Yuan Lai mean? Could it be that he was... "You're from the White Dragon Hall?" Xian guessed the other party's identity. This Yuan Lai was most likely a spy from the White Dragon Hall. Hee, that's right. Yuan Lai laughed. The White Dragon Hall is much stronger than the Black Dragon Institute, and they're from the righteous path. If a genius like you is willing to join my White Dragon Hall, you'll definitely be valued. The White Dragon Hall's people have actually infiltrated the Black Dragon Institute. Truly legends.At. Xian pondered for a moment before replying, "What's in it for me?" "Unlimited dragon source," Yuan Lai stated. "Unlimited?" Xian's eyes lit up. If it was before, he would definitely be tempted by these words. However, he now felt that the World Devastator ghostly dragon was about to reach its limit after fusing with the supreme grade dragon scale. Even if he was given more dragon origins, he might not be able to fuse with it anymore. Moreover, he could earn dragon origins on his own now, so why should he join the White Dragon Palace? The Black Dragon sect also treated him well. Sorry, I refuse. Yi Xian shook his head and refused. Junior brother, do you know the consequences of your refusal? Yuan Lai's face suddenly darkened. I know. Didn't you kill him? Yi Xian nodded. I don't want to kill you, so please come with me until you decide. Yuan Lai said and was about to make a move. It won't be that easy for you to capture me. Yi Xian's eyes widened. Just as he was about to leave, he realized that he couldn't use the eyes of the void. Not good. His expression changed greatly, but before he could react, Yuan Lai had already reached out and grabbed him through the air. I'm a true emperor. If I let a true emperor like you escape, I might as well kill myself. Yuan Lai's voice entered Yi Xian's ears. True emperor. Yi Xian didn't expect Yuan Lai to be a true emperor. Shouldn't someone like him be heading to the Black Dragon Stream? Wasn't a true emperor afraid of attracting unwanted attention by staying in the second stream? One had to know that the Black Dragon Institute was a sealed place. Yuan Lai, right? I'll remember you. Yi Xian's eyes flickered as he thought of something. Time reversal. In the next instant, Yi Xian returned to the previous day. He then broke through the void and left the Black Dragon Stream. I didn't expect the White Dragon Hall to infiltrate the Black Dragon Institute. It seems like I need to be careful. Yi Xian thought to himself after leaving the Black Dragon Stream. He first stayed in the inner mansion for a day to recover from the cooldown of time reversal. Then, he went to investigate and found Yuan Lai. Yuan Lai would never have thought that Yi Xian would investigate him for no reason. With a true emperor eyeing him like a tiger watching its prey, Yi Xian was a little afraid. Fortunately, he had the time reversal ability. Unless he triggered a random mission, nothing would happen to him. I'm only a first-grade true emperor while Yuan Lai is a first-grade true emperor. He's several dozen realms higher than me. I can't beat him for the time being. Yi Xian thought to himself and decided to enter seclusion. The cultivation resources he obtained from Su Meng were enough for him to break through to the true emperor realm. Thus, he didn't need to worry. In the following days, he would go to the Black Dragon Stream once a day. However, he would stay at the first level of the Black Dragon Stream. As soon as the fusion ended, he would break through the void and return to the world-destroying ghost dragon to fuse with the dragon origin. In the blink of an eye, more than a month passed. Ding! Host has broken through. You are now a first-grade half-step true sovereign. Ding! Inferno Ghostly Lord, World-Destroying Ghost Dragon, Wei Zhentian, and Sky-Breaking Ape God have broken through. You are now a 5th-grade half-step true sovereign. At this time, Yi Xian's strength was many times stronger than it was a month ago. In any case, there was a gap of 9 realms between them. With his current strength, he should be able to fight Yuan Lai if he met him again. However, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to defeat Yuan Lai. After all, Yuan Lai used to be a 4th-grade genius. As his realm increased, his ability to challenge those of a higher realm decreased. However, it was still not something that Yi Xian could handle. Today, Yi Xian was going to the Black Dragon Stream again. The world-destroying ghost dragon has fused with 150 million supreme grade dragon scales. It doesn't seem to be the limit yet. Not bad. Yi Xian thought to himself. He originally thought that 100 million would be the limit. After all, the Black Dragon Emissary was only at 10 million. He didn't expect it to exceed that. This was a good thing for him. However, on his way to the Black Dragon Stream, he suddenly met someone. Every time he came out, he would become the center of attention. This time was no exception. However, this time, he saw Yuan Lai among the crowd. It was the same person who had tried to kill him before he reversed time. I finally see you. Death warrant. At that moment, Yi Xian glanced at him and quickly used the death pursuit command to mark him. After marking him with the death warrant, he didn't have to worry about being killed. Of course, since the White Dragon Hall could plant a spy, they could plant a second one. Therefore, Yuan Lai definitely wasn't the only spy in the Black Dragon Institute. Forget it, I'll continue sweeping through the black dragon stream. Yi Xian thought to himself. In any case, he had the time reversal skill, so he wasn't afraid of Yuan Lai. However, just as he entered the black dragon stream, the ground of the black dragon stream suddenly began to tremble violently. What's going on? Yi Xian raised an eyebrow. This was the first time he had seen something like this. Not only that, but the disciples who wandered around the black dragon stream all year round were the same. Before Yi Xian could react, a dark shadow flew over from the horizon. Then, with lightning speed, it entered the world-destroying ghost dragon's body. What the hell? Chapter 1897. What? You're saying that shadow was a dragon soul? Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. The world-destroyer ghostly dragon had fused with that dragon soul. That's why its aura was so much stronger. But why would this dragon soul come to him on its own accord? Didn't they say that dragon souls would only appear from the 3rd level onwards? Could it be because the world-destroyer ghostly dragon had fused with a large number of supreme dragon scales? Yi Xian didn't understand. You're saying that you can faintly sense the location of the other dragon souls? Yi Xian was surprised after communicating with the world-destroyer ghostly dragon in his mind. It was the same as when the world-destroyer ghostly dragon fused with the world-destroyer dragon scale. Great, this is great. Yi Xian was excited at the thought of fusing with a large number of dragon souls. He quickly headed for the 2nd level. This time, he wanted to challenge the 3rd level. The 3rd level was a half-step true sovereign. However, Yi Xian was now a 1st-rank half-step true sovereign while the world-destroyer ghostly dragon had obtained a dragon soul. Its combat power had reached the same level as a true emperor. The triple black dragon stream shouldn't be much to him. There were actually quite a few shortcuts in the 1st and 2nd levels of the black dragon stream, so Yi Xian quickly arrived at the 2nd level. This time, he didn't plan to wander around the 2nd level. Instead, he headed straight for the 3rd level. The 3rd level is filled with half-step true emperors. The harvest there will definitely be more than before, but... Yi Xian pondered for a moment before looking at the sky. The scarlet kill word suddenly crossed a large distance and arrived at a black dragon ravine. That Yuan Lai really did come in. Very well, wait until I break through and I'll kill him. Yi Xian thought to himself. He estimated that after entering the 3rd level, he would be able to become a 2nd-rank half-step true sovereign. At that time, if Yuan Lai dared to come, he would kill him. Very quickly, Yi Xian arrived at the 3rd level of the black dragon stream from the 2nd level. It will probably take another day for them to catch up. Let's kill them first. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. After the world devastator ghostly dragon had fused with the dragon soul, it was able to sense other dragon souls. Right now it could sense 3 of them. Let's go. At that moment, Yi Xian hurried on his way. Relying on the world annihilation ghostly dragon's ability to sense dragon souls, he quickly found the 2nd dark shadow. It was another dragon soul. Of course, this dragon soul was similar to the previous one. It was just a wisp of the black destruction dragon's soul. After the world devastator ghost dragon absorbed the soul, its aura surged once again. How many dragon souls were there in the black dragon stream? That guy is finally here. After the world devastator ghostly dragon absorbed the dragon soul, Yi Xian realized that Yuan Lai had finally caught up with him from afar. Yi Xian was certain that the other party had not left a mark on him. Otherwise, he would have been discovered by the Black Dragon cult's experts. Therefore, he was curious as to how the other party had managed to catch up to him. "Senior brother, what's the matter?" Yi Xian shouted from afar. Yuan Lai rushed over and said, "Hello, junior brother Yi Xian. My name is Yuan Lai." "I know." Yi Xian nodded. This answer surprised Yuan Lai. This was because this was the first time he had met Yi Xian. How did Yi Xian know him? What Yuan Lai didn't know was that he had already met Yi Xian once before. He had also tried to recruit Yi Xian, but had failed. In the end, Yi Xian had used time reversal to return to the past. Following that, Yuan Lai had tried to recruit Yi Xian again as a spy of the White Dragon Hall. "Senior brother, you're probably here to test my loyalty, right? Your methods are too crude." After Yi Xian heard this, he only shook his head and smiled. Yuan Lai blanked for a second. It turned out that Yi Xian thought he was a spy sent by the Black Dragon cult's higher-ups to test Yi Xian's loyalty. "Junior brother, I can seriously tell you that what I said just now is the truth," Yuan Lai said. Hee hee, how could it be so easy to infiltrate the Black Dragon cult? If you're really from the White Dragon Hall, how could you not be discovered? Yi Xian continued. Yuan Lai explained, Junior brother, you're right to not believe me. After all, the Black Dragon Institute is heavily guarded. However, I know a secret passage that leads out of the Black Dragon Institute. If you agree, I'll bring you out immediately. That won't do. I still need to collect dragon souls. Yi Xian shook his head. Dragon souls? I have them here. Yuan Lai said. How many do you have? I've been searching the Black Dragon Stream's third layer for many years and have found 10 strands of dragon souls. If you need them, I can give them all to you. Yuan Lai said generously. For most people, even if they found a dragon soul, they wouldn't be able to sense the other dragon soul's location. The world-annihilating ghost dragon was an exception. Moreover, Yi Xian had heard that dragon souls usually came to him on their own accord. It was very rare to find one on their own. This Yuan Lai being able to find 10 strands of dragon souls was already very good. Then give me the dragon souls. I'll go with you 10 days later. Yi Xian suddenly said. 10 days, all right. Yuan Lai nodded and directly threw the bottle containing 10 strands of dragon souls to Yi Xian. He had obtained these strands of dragon souls after walking the Black Dragon Stream for nearly 10,000 years. And now, he had given them all to Yi Xian. He was thinking, if Yi Xian was lying to him, he would forcefully abduct him. However, if he could forcefully bring Yi Xian back to the White Dragon Hall, it would be a great merit. Perhaps he wouldn't obtain the dragon souls, but he could obtain a large amount of precious treasures to increase his cultivation. Compared to jumping ranks to challenge, one's cultivation was more attractive. However, Yi Xian wasn't a 3-year-old child. He wouldn't be tricked so easily. Tisk. TSK. TSK. 10 strands of dragon souls is enough. Yi Xian squinted his eyes and immediately kept the World Destroyer ghostly dragon in the planting space, then let it refine the dragon souls. With so many dragon souls, the World Destroyer ghostly dragon's strength would increase significantly if it refined all of them. Most importantly, after 10 days, Yi Xian's cultivation level would increase again and reach rank 4 half-step true venerate. At that time, he would definitely be able to kill Yuan Lai and follow the clues to find the other White Dragon Hall spies. Time passed day by day. During this time, Yuan Lai was guarding Yi Xian. 10 days later. Ding! Host has broken through. Current cultivation level is rank 4 half-step true venerate. Ding! Yan Ming Ghostly Lord, World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon, Wei Zhentian, and Sky-Breaking Ape God have broken through. Current cultivation level is rank 8 half-step true venerate. 2 system notifications rang in Yi Xian's mind. Breakthrough. Moreover, the 10 strands of dragon souls were almost completely refined. After sensing the change in Yi Xian's aura, Yuan Lai was deeply shocked. 2 breakthroughs in 10 days. What a monster! Thinking back, Yuan Lai's breakthroughs were also measured in years. No, to be precise, it was measured in centuries. Chapter 1898. Junior brother Yi Xian, can we go now? Yuan Lai asked. Senior brother Yuan Lai is indeed sincere. All right, I'll go with you. Yi Xian nodded in satisfaction and stood up. Good, this is really good. Yuan Lai was very happy and didn't have the slightest doubt. After all, he had been keeping an eye on Yi Xian for the past 10 days and the latter didn't do anything strange. Moreover, he was a rank 1 true emperor. How could he not be able to deal with Yi Xian? Although Yi Xian had cleared all 30 floors of the Black Dragon Pagoda, there were only black dragons inside. How could they compare to a Xiaoyao? However, what Yuan Lai didn't know was that the world-destroying ghost dragon's cultivation had also risen to rank 8 half-step true venerable. The difference between a rank 1 true emperor was only 20 levels. Challenging someone 20 levels higher was a piece of cake. Just as Yuan Lai was about to leave the Black Dragon Institute with Yi Xian through the secret passage, the world-destroying ghost dragon was suddenly summoned by Yi Xian. The two of them quickly merged. Slaughter mode. Black Dragon Flame Wave. Yi Xian opened his mouth and spat out without hesitation. A scorching dragon breath instantly passed through Yuan Lai's back and burned his dragon heart to ashes. Yuan Lai never expected that Yi Xian would actually launch a sneak attack on him. Even more so, he didn't expect that Yi Xian would have the strength to kill him in one hit. If he had known the result would be like this, He would have taken action 10 days ago and forcefully taken Yixian away. It was a pity that he had suffered a double loss after giving away the bride. He had given Yixian the dragon soul and also protected Yixian. In the end, he was killed in one hit. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. Another notification sounded in Yixian's mind. In fact, he hadn't used his full strength in that attack. Otherwise, Yuan Lai would have been burned to ashes. After Yuan Lai died, Yixian quickly rushed over and collected his corpse and spatial ring. Aside from the dragon origin, there was no dragon soul or anything else in the universe ring. As for his corpse, Yixian threw it into the planting space for Wei Zhentian to search his soul. Strange, why is this guy's memory so strange? Could it be that it was erased? Yixian narrowed his eyes and thought. Since this Yuan Lai was a spy sent by the White Dragon Hall to infiltrate the Black Dragon Institute, he should have some memories related to this matter. However, Yuan Lai did not, so his memories must have been erased. A mysterious person gave him instructions to recruit me or kill me. He used black and white as a secret signal. Who is this mysterious person? Yixian could not figure it out. In the past, it was always the mysterious man who found Yuan Lai and gave him the task, so Yuan Lai didn't know who the mysterious man was. As a result, the clues were cut off. Looks like I have to be more careful. Once Yuan Lai dies, the White Dragon Palace Hall and the Black Dragon sect will notice. Yixian thought inwardly. When Yixian joined the Black Dragon Institute, he had also condensed a life jade token somewhere. Yuan Lai definitely had one as well. Once Yuan Lai died, it would definitely attract attention. Yixian looked around, then tore through the void and left. Whatever, it's not like I really agreed. Even if the Black Dragon sect's higher-ups come looking for me, I'll just give them the corpse. Yixian pondered for a moment, then continued to move. The third layer Black Dragon stream. There were many dragon souls here. The world-destroying ghost dragon had integrated with so many top-grade dragon scales, so there should be some dragon souls coming to him, right? Sure enough, it was as he had guessed. After the world-destroying ghost dragon entered the third layer Black Dragon stream, it was like a giant magnet. When it moved, the dragon souls would follow it, and they were all coming for him. In less than a day, 3 dragon souls had taken the initiative to come knocking on his door. Tisk, TSK, TSK, this is great. If the third layer Black Dragon stream is already like this, wouldn't the fourth layer Black Dragon stream and fifth layer Black Dragon stream be awesome? Yixian narrowed his eyes. With his current strength, he would have no problem running rampant in the third layer Black Dragon stream. However, after Yuan Lai's death, more White Dragon Hall spies had entered the third layer Black Dragon stream. There are suddenly so many people in the third layer Black Dragon stream? Yixian, who was looking for dragon souls and hunting Kirin dragons, bone dragons, and blood dragons, suddenly felt that something was amiss. He was holding the Black Dragon sect's Dharma treasure, which could detect the whereabouts of nearby Black Dragon sect disciples. Previously, Yuan Lai had used this to catch up to him. After all, he was the weakest in the entire third layer Black Dragon stream. At this moment, Yixian saw a large number of inner mansion disciples approaching him from the Dharma treasure that resembled a radar. I'm afraid these people don't have good intentions. Yixian narrowed his eyes slightly as he thought to himself. His position was not the shortcut to the fourth layer Black Dragon stream, so why were there so many people coming for him? There must be something fishy. These people might be White Dragon Hall spies who infiltrated the Black Dragon sect. Yixian thought to himself. Although he couldn't be 100% sure, Yixian was 90% sure. Back then, Yuan Lai was only a first-grade true emperor and wasn't very strong. He had killed Yuan Lai back then, but that guy was only a first-grade true emperor. However, the people coming for him next should be stronger than Yuan Lai. Otherwise, why would White Dragon Hall send them? If a high-level true emperor came, Yixian would be done for. Right now, there's no one I can trust in the Black Dragon sect. How should I deal with this? Yixian carefully pondered in his heart. Elder Sun, Pan Hong, and Vice Leader Hu Feng were not completely trustworthy. Black Dragon Saint Feng Bei Han was someone Yixian absolutely trusted. After all, White Dragon Hall didn't need to put on a show of suffering. Although Elder Sun and Pan Hong were related to the fallen Feng Bei Han, Yixian didn't trust them. Some time ago, He had entered the Black Dragon Tower in the outer mansion and became a disciple of the Black Dragon sect's chief. However, it was Hu Feng who took him in. As for Hu Feng, Yi Xian still couldn't completely trust him. Perhaps, the only person in the entire Black Dragon sect that he could completely trust was the chief. The Black Dragon sect and White Dragon Hall were mortal enemies. It couldn't be that the chief was a spy, right? Since others can't trust me, I should rely on myself. Yi Xian thought to himself as he headed for the 4th layer Black Dragon stream. There were Qilin dragons, bone dragons, and blood dragons at least at the true emperor level. At the very least, they could delay these people. As for him, he had the flowing light invisibility cloak. These lifeless Qilin dragons shouldn't be able to discover him. While he was on his way to the 4th layer Black Dragon stream, the Black Dragon Institute disciples couldn't help but stop. Why is that brat going to the 4th layer Black Dragon stream? This brat is really courting death. Does he really think that he can go to the 4th layer Black Dragon stream just because he can challenge so many levels higher? Does he want to die? Quickly chase him. Not good, he disappeared. Magic treasures can't find him. Chapter 1899. Before this group of people were shocked, Yi Xian had worn the flowing light invisibility cloak, which was why he was able to avoid being tracked by magic treasures. The cloak was very useful. After all, it was a level 3 treasure and coincidentally appeared today to solve Yi Xian's emergency. This flowing light invisibility cloak can be fixed. Yi Xian thought to himself. He still had 3 devour points, which he kept in reserve. After all, he couldn't use time reversal at times. If his avatar was destroyed, he would have to use the points to revive it. Ding! Light stream cloak fixed. A system notification sounded. From now on, Yi Xian's concealment ability had reached a new level. In fact, he could continue to stay in the 3rd layer of Black Dragon stream with the cloak. However, there were too many people here, making it difficult for him to move around. He just took a shortcut to the 4th layer of Black Dragon stream, making the other party think that he was going there. However, when people thought about it, would Yi Xian dare to go to the 4th layer of Black Dragon stream with his current cultivation? Impossible. Coincidentally, Yi Xian's whereabouts had disappeared. So many people thought that going to the 4th layer of Black Dragon stream was just a ruse. Yi Xian would definitely stay in the 3rd layer of Black Dragon stream or even escape to the 2nd layer. This move was called creating a diversion. The 4th layer of Black Dragon stream had at least the power of a true emperor. With Yi Xian's current cultivation, it would be a bit difficult for him to enter. However, he had the light stream cloak. If he met a strong opponent, he would hide and kill the weak. Next, he would mingle in the 4th layer of Black Dragon stream. If he could stay here for a month, he would definitely be able to sweep through the 4th layer of Black Dragon stream. Yi Xian, where are you now? While Yi Xian was in the 4th layer of Black Dragon stream, someone suddenly sent him a message. It was from Elder Sun. Elder Sun, you're asking where I am? Yi Xian raised an eyebrow. Elder Sun wouldn't take the initiative to send him a message, so it was a bit strange for him to ask where he was at such a crucial time. Elder Sun, what's the matter? Yi Xian asked in return. Someone wants to see you. Elder Sun replied, Are you training in the Black Dragon stream? Yes. What level? Yi Xian was slightly taken aback by this question. He answered, Triple Black Dragon stream. With your strength, it shouldn't be a problem for you to stay in the Triple Black Dragon stream. However, you should come back when you have the time. Elder Sun said. All right. Yi Xian nodded. Although it was just a short conversation, the more Yi Xian thought about it, the more he felt that something was amiss. Wasn't asking him to go back now just like walking right into a trap? What a coincidence. There must be something fishy going on. Elder Sun, he might be a spy sent by the White Dragon Palace to infiltrate the Black Dragon Church. Who would have thought that the White Dragon Palace would infiltrate the Black Dragon Church so thoroughly? Yi Xian couldn't believe it, but he couldn't be bothered to deal with the other party. Leveling up was his priority. Given more time, not to mention those true emperors, even the Black Dragon Institute's #1 genius, Duanmu Xinghe, would be trampled under his feet. Time slowly passed. Ding. Host has broken through. Host is now a 2nd grade half-step true venerable. System notifications rang one after another. Yi Xian's cultivation was continuously rising. From a first-grade half-step true venerable when he had just entered the triple black dragon stream, he had broken through to third-grade half-step true venerable. At the same time, the number of top-grade dragon scales he had fused with the world-extinguishing ghost dragon had reached 500 million, and he had also collected more than 100 dragon souls. It's time for a massacre. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. He had already made a plan in his heart. This time, he was going to return to the triple black dragon stream and pull out the white dragon palace's spies one by one. Whoosh! The void gate opened, and Yi Xian entered it. Soon, he was back in the triple black dragon stream. The massacre had begun. After returning, he quickly took off the flowing light invisibility cloak, exposing himself. He then observed the movement of the magic treasure. At this time, there were 6 people coming toward him. They're probably from the White Dragon Palace. Let's see how strong you are first. Yi Xian thought to himself. He then went forward to meet them. Using the magic treasure, he skillfully moved and gathered the 6 people together. Judging from their movement speed, they were all mid-level true emperors, around the 4th grade true emperor level. They weren't weak at all. Unfortunately, Yi Xian wasn't someone they could provoke right now. World-extinguishing ghost dragon, it's time for a massacre. Kill them all. Yi Xian didn't say anything. He fused with the world-extinguishing ghost dragon and went forward to meet them. After fusing with so many dragon scales and dragon souls, the world-extinguishing ghost dragon's strength had reached a terrifying level. It wouldn't be difficult for it to kill these geniuses. Found him. The mid-level true emperors were very happy to see Yi Xian. But in the next moment, nightmares descended. Slaughter mode. Eye of assassination. In an instant, Yi Xian directly killed his way to the back of a person and opened his mouth wide. Black Dragon Flame Wave. Boom. This was Yi Xian's all-out attack. It instantly killed 3 people at the right angle. Only their chests were blown off, leaving their heads and interspatial rings intact. After they died, Yi Xian quickly went to collect their corpses. Tsk, so many dragon souls and dragon origins. Yi Xian couldn't stop smiling. However, there were still 3 more that he hadn't dealt with yet. When the 3 of them saw Yi Xian instantly kill their companions, they immediately pissed their pants in fear and turned around to leave. How dare you kill your fellow disciples? One of them asked. You remnants of the White Dragon Palace, did you think you could hide from my eyes? Yi Xian coldly snorted and reaped the lives of the 3 people one after another. The 6 interspatial rings gave Yi Xian a lot of benefits. He gained another 100 dragon souls. As for the 6 corpses, Yi Xian threw them into the planting space for Wei Zhentian to search their souls. Sure enough, these 6 people were the same as Yuan Lai. They were all instructed by the mysterious person to capture him. Who the hell is this mysterious person? Could it be Elder Sun? Yi Xian raised his brows. He couldn't help but associate this matter with Elder Sun. It was too much of a coincidence. Of course, Elder Sun might be at the bottom like these 6. Then, the real spy was at least at the Black Dragon emissary level. I don't care who it is, I'll find you in the end. Yi Xian thought to himself. He put on the Lightstream cloak and decided to hide for a day before cleaning them up. After a day, Yi Xian took off the cloak and exposed himself to the treasures of the enemies. This time, there were only 5, but one of them seemed to be a high-level true emperor. They're really putting in a lot of effort. But why are so many true emperors staying in the 3rd layer Black Dragon stream? Yi Xian was surprised. He decided to avoid the high-level true emperor and kill the other 4 mid-level true emperors first. Chapter 1900. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. A series of system notifications rang in Huang Xiaolong's ears. 4 mid-level true emperors were killed by Yi Xian. Then, Yi Xian put on the flowing light invisibility cloak and disappeared without a trace. With so many people dead, that mysterious person from the White Dragon Hall should know about it, right? Yi Xian thought to himself as he found a place to hide. Another day passed and he reappeared, killing the White Dragon Hall spies who were chasing after him. Days passed in this manner. Yi Xian made breakthroughs in his cultivation, and the number of top-grade dragon scales the world-extinguishing ghost dragon had merged with increased greatly. At this time, Yi Xian's cultivation was already at the 5th grade half-step true venerable realm, whereas the world-extinguishing ghost dragon had merged with 900 million dragon scales and over 1,000 dragon souls. The current Yi Xian wouldn't be afraid even if he encountered a high-level true emperor. In these few days, the White Dragon Hall had restrained themselves. There weren't as many people chasing after Yi Xian. This was because there weren't many disciples who had broken through to the half-true saint realm. With so many people dead, how could the higher-ups not know? After eliminating a few more people, Yi Xian headed to the 4th layer Black Dragon Mountain stream to collect more dragon souls. In this kind of isolated and helpless situation, believing in oneself was the way to go. However, not long after Yi Xian entered the 4th layer Black Dragon Mountain stream. No, to be more precise, it was when the world-extinguishing ghost dragon that had merged with 1 billion top-grade dragon scales was summoned by Yi Xian. The entire Black Dragon Mountain stream shook once again. What's going on? Yi Xian and the other Black Dragon Institute disciples turned around and discovered that the source of the tremors was at the 5th layer Black Dragon Mountain stream. What was going on there? Before Yi Xian could even think about it, a large shadow light attacked him. An aura that Yi Xian was familiar with spread out. World-extinguishing aura. What a huge dragon soul. Yi Xian was terrified. Even if he added up all the dragon souls he had collected before, it wouldn't even amount to 1% of this dragon soul. At this time, this dragon soul suddenly swooped down and entered the world-extinguishing ghost dragon's body. In the past, Yi Xian had encountered many dragon souls. But this time, such a huge amount of them all at once. A great opportunity. These 5 words in Yi Xian's mind. Most importantly, this enormous dragon soul did not require the world devastation ghost dragon to refine it. It instantly merged with the dragon soul in the world devastation ghost dragon's body. Young man. Immediately after, an old voice sounded in Yi Xian's mind. Who? Yi Xian's body. Of you. Hearing this, Yi Xian was scared out of his wits. He hurriedly said in his mind, Black Destruction Dragon, didn't you die? It's true that I died, but the people from the Dragon Slaughtering Alliance didn't capture my dragon soul. What you refined before was just a remnant soul. The real dragon soul is my sovereign dragon soul. The Black Destruction Dragon said. Sovereign dragon soul? Yi Xian asked in surprise. In the 5th layer of the Black Dragon Mountain stream, whether it's a Kirin dragon, a bone dragon, or a blood dragon, they're all at the sovereign dragon level. They're all controlled by my sovereign dragon soul. These are actually my natal dragon scales, natal dragon bones, and natal dragon blood. It's just that you people from the Black Dragon sect named them sovereign dragon souls. Yi Xian raised an eyebrow and thought to himself, natal dragon scales. Looks like they're better than supreme grade dragon scales, right? Young man, I came here because your black dragon has an aura similar to mine. Perhaps we're from the same race. The Black Destruction Dragon said. The same race? Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. The Black Destruction Dragon and the World Destruction Ghost Dragon should be considered the same race. However, the Black Destruction Dragon would never have guessed that the World Destruction Ghost Dragon had evolved into a World Destruction Ghost Dragon by fusing with its dragon scales. To tell you the truth, I don't know what race I'm from. I was born without any inherited memories. When I finally grew up, I was killed by the Dragon Slaughtering Alliance. The Black Destruction Dragon sighed. No inherited memories? How is that possible? Yi Xian didn't quite believe it. At his current level, any random immortal beast would have inherited the memories of the past. The Black Destruction Dragon was so powerful that it could not have one. Then there was only one explanation. The Black Destruction Dragon's inherited memories had been sealed. The outside world is saying that Senior created the Dragon Slaughtering Alliance because of your wanton destruction. Yi Xian said. That's right. I did cause a lot of destruction, but that can't be helped. I can't suppress the mark of destruction in my body. Every time it erupts, it's on the verge of destroying the world. I'm the only one who's safe. The Black Destruction Dragon sighed again. Mark of destruction? Yi Xian muttered. Young man, that dragon soul just now contained my own dragon soul. I've already passed on the mark of destruction to you. The Black Destruction Dragon's words shocked Yi Xian. The mark of destruction was passed on to him? Ding. The World Destruction Ghost Dragon has obtained the mark of destruction. Ding. The World Destruction Ghost Dragon has comprehended the skill divine power of destruction. Two system notifications rang out. Yi Xian sensed it himself and discovered the divine power of destruction. The divine power of destruction was the attack that the Black Destruction Dragon had automatically unleashed. Its power was obvious. However, there was a drawback. The divine power of destruction could be used by the Black Destruction Ghost Dragon, but it would automatically be used once every 3 days. If one wasn't careful, they could kill their own people. Fortunately, the one who automatically used the divine power of destruction was the World Destruction Ghost Dragon and not Yi Xian. Otherwise, Yi Xian would be in deep trouble. As for the World Destruction Ghost Dragon's Black Dragon Wave, it had also evolved into the World Destruction Roar. Although the names of the other skills hadn't been changed, their power had greatly increased after fusing with the Mark of Destruction. A fortuitous encounter. It was indeed a fortuitous encounter. Fortunately, I have the planting space. Otherwise, I would be in deep trouble. Yi Xian breathed a sigh of relief. In the planting space, he was the ruler. The World Destruction Ghost Dragon's realm wasn't as strong as the Black Destruction Dragon's at its peak, so the divine power of destruction shouldn't be that strong. If that was the case, Yi Xian should be able to handle it. Actually, I've noticed you for a long time. You can store it in one place, so you should be able to deal with the Mark of Destruction. The power of the Mark of Destruction will increase as one's realm increases, and the duration of each eruption will also increase. If you can control the Mark of Destruction in the future, then your strength will be very strong. Back then, I still couldn't control it. That's why it led to such a disaster. Chapter 1901. Yi Xian no longer cared about the world-destroying ghost dragon's concerns. After all, the world-destroying ghost dragon had already grasped the world-destroying imprint, which was the world-destroying divine might. However, the world-destroying ghost dragon still didn't know about it. This junior will do his best, Yi Xian said. Now that it has merged with the world-destroying imprint, you can come and take my supreme dragon scales, dragon blood, dragon bones, and even my supreme dragon soul at any time. Come to the 5th layer Black Dragon Stream. You'll be safe here, the world-destroying ghost dragon said. Okay, this junior will go right away. Yi Xian's eyes lit up when he heard this. The supreme dragon scales, dragon blood, dragon bones, and dragon soul were all his. The so-called Black Dragon inheritance in the Black Dragon School was actually just a remnant soul. No one would have thought that Yi Xian would actually obtain the world-destroying ghost dragon's recognition and obtain its supreme dragon soul. This was probably heaven-defying awe. Yi Xian immediately headed toward the 5th layer Black Dragon Stream. This path was quite long. Even though there were shortcuts, it still took him several days to reach the destination. Several days later, Yi Xian arrived at the 5th layer Black Dragon Stream. At the same time, his cultivation had risen to 6th grade half-step True Venerable. As for the world-destroying Ghost Dragon and the others, they were already 1st grade True Venerables. Senior, I've arrived. After entering the 5th layer Black Dragon Stream, Yi Xian said in his mind. Wait a moment, there are a few brats who want to forcefully take my supreme dragon soul. What wishful thinking. The world-destroying Ghost Dragon suddenly said. Brats. Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. Could it be that they were the top geniuses of the Black Dragon Institute? In this Black Dragon Stream, half-step saints were allowed to enter at most. Saint realm experts like the Black Dragon Saint Envoy were unable to enter. A while later. All right, I've chased those brats away. Follow your senses and come here. Those supreme Qilin dragons along the way will ignore you, the world-destroying Ghost Dragon said. The 5th layer of Black Dragon Ravine was filled with supreme Qilin dragons, supreme bone dragons, and supreme blood dragons. These were all at the half-sage level, so they could easily discover Yi Xian. However, since the Black Destruction Dragon had said so, Yi Xian believed it for now. After all, these supreme Qilin dragons, supreme bone dragons, and supreme blood dragons were all under the control of the Black Destruction Dragon's supreme dragon soul. Yi Xian asked the World Devastator Ghostly Dragon to follow his senses. Along the way, they did encounter many powerful Kirin dragons, but none of them attacked him. Furthermore, a bone dragon appeared and carried Yi Xian over. This was a privilege. Very soon, Yi Xian saw the Black Destruction Dragon's supreme dragon soul. At the time, Yi Xian only had one word in his mind. Big. This supreme dragon soul was much larger than the dragon soul he encountered when he first entered the 4th layer of the Black Dragon Mountain Stream. It was at least 10,000 times larger. You've come. The Black Destruction Dragon's voice resounded in Yi Xian's mind. As Senior Long, Yi Xian hurriedly called out. I've already gathered a large number of supreme Qilin dragons, bone dragons, and blood dragons. You can even take this last supreme dragon soul of mine. The Black Destruction Dragon cut straight to the chase. However, I hope that you can help me fulfill a wish. A wish? Hearing this, Yi Xian raised his brows and said, Annihilate the Dragon Slaughter Alliance? That's right. The Black Destruction Dragon replied. I will definitely fulfill Senior's last wish. Yi Xian solemnly declared. Then I can rest easy, the Black Destruction Dragon said. Now that you've fused with the Supreme Dragon Soul, the Supreme Qilin Dragons, Bone Dragons, and Blood Dragons in the 5th layer of the Black Dragon Mountain Stream will all listen to your orders. You can even destroy the entire Black Dragon Mountain Stream if you want to. However, if you do that, saints will be able to enter. Understood. Yi Xian faintly nodded. He had heard that the Black Dragon Mountain Stream was the place where the Black Destruction Dragon had fallen. After the Black Destruction Dragon's death, the Destruction Mark had activated once more, and the Black Dragon Mountain Stream had appeared. All saint-level experts could not enter. No, to be more precise, no one could enter. One had to use a teleportation array to reach the Black Dragon Mountain Stream. If one wanted to enter, they had to use a teleportation array. At the same time, one had to be below the saint level. The Dragon Slaying Alliance also knew of the Black Dragon Mountain Stream, but the teleportation array was constructed by a mysterious person within the Black Dragon cult, so they could not reach it. Young man, it's best that you don't trust anyone in the Black Dragon cult. The only person you can trust is the cult leader. Back then he tried to save me. Although he didn't succeed in the end, he preserved my dragon soul. I am very grateful to him. If you see him in the future, remember to thank him for me. The Black Annihilation Dragon said earnestly. The cult leader of the Black Dragon cult? Yi Xian raised an eyebrow. It seemed that the person who had constructed the teleportation array was the cult leader of the Black Dragon cult. But this cult leader was so mysterious. Just who could he be? Once this junior arrives. Yi Xian nodded his head. Good, then I won't say any more. After the Black Destruction Dragon finished speaking, the giant Supreme Dragon Soul above Yi Xian's head directly swallowed the World Destruction Ghost Dragon. In the next second, the Supreme Dragon Soul began to shrink. With the Black Destruction Dragon's help, the World Destruction Ghost Dragon rapidly absorbed the Supreme Dragon Soul. At the same time, the World Destruction Ghost Dragon's aura grew stronger. At the same time, the Black Dragon Institute's disciples around the Black Dragon Mountain Stream also felt this aura. What's going on? Such a powerful aura. It seems to be coming from the 5th layer of the Black Dragon Mountain Stream. Could it be that a senior brother obtained a supreme dragon soul? Heavens, there are countless remnant souls, but there is only one supreme dragon soul. Could it be senior brother Duanmu Xinghe? Let's go and take a look. Many Black Dragon Institute's disciples gathered and headed toward the 5th layer of the Black Dragon Mountain Stream. Some of them were not strong enough, but because they were all geniuses, if they gathered together, they would be a force to be reckoned with. At this time, in a certain corner of the 5th layer of the Black Dragon Mountain Stream. Such a powerful aura. Someone obtained a supreme dragon soul. Who is it? A young man suddenly looked into the distance, thinking to himself. He was the Black Dragon Institute's #1 genius, Duanmu Xinghe. It had been 100,000 years since he entered the 5th layer of the Black Dragon Mountain Stream. In this 100,000 years, he had obtained many dragon souls, but he had only encountered a supreme dragon soul a few times. The most recent time, he had almost subdued the supreme dragon soul, but it still managed to escape in the end. Who would have thought that someone would be able to obtain a supreme dragon soul before him? Who was it? Immediately, Duanmu Xinghe flew in that direction. And that direction was precisely where Yi Xian was. Fuse with them. After fusing with them, the Black Dragon Mountain Stream will be your world. The Black Destruction Dragon's voice sounded in Yi Xian's mind. What Black Dragon Institute's genius? What Duanmu Xinghe? In the Black Destruction Dragon's eyes, they were all trash. Chapter 1902. I, Black Mist, have cultivated for so many years. Just as I was about to transform into my human form, I was killed by the Dragon Slaughtering Alliance. Young man, after you accept my inheritance, Please fulfill my wish. The Black Destruction Dragon's aura grew weaker and weaker, and its voice became softer and softer. In the end, it was completely refined by the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon. With its help, the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon was able to fuse with such a powerful Supreme Dragon Soul. Fortunately, he had already broken through to the true Venerable Realm. Otherwise, even with the Black Destruction Dragon's bloodline, he wouldn't be able to withstand such a powerful Supreme Dragon Soul. Is the fusion complete? After that, Xian sensed that the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon's aura was more than 10 times stronger than before. At the same time, it gained the ability to control other undead creatures. Right now, I am the master of the Black Dragon Stream. Xian narrowed his eyes. With a single thought, the bone dragon flew towards him and landed in front of him like a puppy. In the next moment, the bone dragon that was comparable to a half-saint fell apart. A section of Supreme Dragon Bone fell into Xian's hand. Unfortunately, after the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon had fused with the Supreme Dragon Soul, this section of Supreme Dragon Bone was useless to it. The fusion had reached its limit. After fusing with the Supreme Dragon Soul, the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon can sense all the undead creatures in the Black Dragon Stream. Xian casually threw the section of Supreme Dragon Bone out and formed a new bone dragon. He then let the World Annihilation Ghost Dragon sense it carefully. Heavens! There are actually 99 half-saint undead creatures. Among them, there are 33 bone dragons, Qilin dragons, and blood dragons. This is too terrifying. Xian was terrified. Now that he was the master of the Black Dragon Stream, whether it was these 99 half-saint undead creatures or others, they all obeyed his orders. If he didn't leave the Black Dragon Stream, who could be his opponent? Even if a true saint expert descended, they would still be wary of him, right? At this time, Xian suddenly took out the Black Dragon School's treasure and glanced at it. He discovered that a large number of experts were approaching him. It was said that the Black Dragon Institute's #1 genius, Xianxia, was already a grade 5 half-true saint, and his strength had already reached grade 9 half-true saint. Facing these supreme Qilin dragons, bone dragons, and blood dragons, Xianxia had no fear at all. At the thought of this, Xian quickly tore through the void and left. As long as the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon hid in the planting space, no one would be able to find it. At the same time, Xian ordered the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon to gather all the high-rank half-saint undead creatures. The current World Annihilation Ghost Dragon can no longer integrate with its dragon scales, dragon bones, and dragon blood. It can only strengthen its dragon soul. Therefore, I must place my attention on these Black Dragon Institute's elite disciples. Xian thought to himself. Although they were family, he didn't want to kill them. He just wanted to rob them. No matter how powerful Xianxia was, it was impossible for him to deal with so many 9th-grade half-saint undead creatures, right? Previously, the Sovereign Dragon Soul had refused to do so because it didn't need to obtain anything from these geniuses, but Xian did. Therefore, Xian planned to set up a trap. Soon, he gathered the 99 9th-grade half-saint undead creatures. Other than that, he also gathered a large number of 7th and 8th grade half-saint undead creatures. The total number of undead creatures had exceeded 1,000. Such a huge army, if I bring it out, I can kill even gods and Buddhas if they block my path. Xian was looking forward to it. However, he still had a mission after entering the Black Dragon Institute, and that was to become the Black Dragon Holy Envoy. Therefore, he couldn't leave just yet. These 99 9th-grade half-saint undead creatures were lying in ambush in the surroundings. Then, Xian suddenly summoned the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon and released its aura. He reckoned that it was fortunate that they were in the Black Dragon Stream. Otherwise, the moment this aura appeared, the White Dragon Hall's experts would definitely come to kill them. Soon, more and more half-saint Black Dragon Institute's elite disciples arrived, but they fell into Xian's trap. When these 99 9th-grade half-saint undead creatures appeared, they nearly pissed their pants in fright. 99 9th-grade half-saint undead creatures. Even a saint expert would have to flee upon seeing them, right? Just like that, these elite disciples were robbed and trapped by Xian. There weren't many of them, only 20 of them. Strange, why haven't I seen that Xianxia? Xian raised an eyebrow. He had indeed sensed that aura, but the other party didn't seem to have any intention of approaching. Could it have discovered something? If that was the case, then Xian would take the initiative to attack. That direction. I happen to have a lock on the void. Humph. Watch me surround and kill them. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and directly tore a hole in the void, leading half of the high-level undead creatures into it. Then, he spread out and gradually surrounded that area. Duanmu Xinghe raised an eyebrow as he suddenly sensed something. As the Black Dragon Institute's #1 genius, he hurriedly rushed in the direction where the aura was weaker. Unfortunately, Yi Xian had come prepared this time. Moreover, no matter how fast he was, it was impossible for him to be faster than the Bone Dragon and other undead creatures that were infinitely close to the Saint Realm. A day later, he was surrounded by so many undead creatures, unable to move an inch. Senior Dragon Soul, are you taking revenge on me? Duanmu Xinghe suddenly asked. A few days ago, he and some of his fellow disciples had come across the Supreme Dragon Soul by chance and wanted to subdue and refine it. At that time, the Supreme Dragon Soul happened to be paying attention to Yi Xian, which was why Duanmu Xinghe had encountered it. Therefore, this time, Duanmu Xinghe thought that the Black Destruction Dragon was taking revenge on him. Yi Xian, who was wearing the flowing light invisibility cloak, did not answer Duanmu Xinghe's question. Instead, he directly ordered the undead creatures to attack. Damn it! Duanmu Xinghe's expression changed greatly, and he quickly launched an attack in a certain direction. Unfortunately, with his 5th grade half-saint strength, he could only fight against 2 or 3 9th grade half-saint undead creatures. There were so many of them that he couldn't do anything. In the blink of an eye, he was severely injured and knocked unconscious. Even his spatial ring was stolen. Go knock out everyone in the 3rd and 4th layer Black Dragon Mountain stream and bring them here. Following that, Yi Xian issued an order to the undead creatures. There were still many disciples in the Black Dragon Mountain stream. Yi Xian captured all of them and looted them. There was no other way. For the sake of strength, Yi Xian had no choice but to do this. After all, it wouldn't harm his life. While he was at it, he could also check how many of them were spies of the White Dragon Hall. Naturally, the shocking changes in the Black Dragon Mountain stream did not escape the eyes of the Black Dragon cult. Not long after, the Black Dragon cult sent experts into the Black Dragon Mountain stream. Chapter 1903. In this regard, Yi Xian also had a solution. After all, he had the flowing light invisibility cloak and the Black Dragon cult special searching treasure. These Black Dragon cult experts couldn't possibly all gather together. At that time, Yi Xian only needed to use the Void Gate to capture them one by one. Yi Xian's cultivation resources and dragon origins continued to increase. As for the dragon souls he obtained, he used them all on the world-annihilating ghost dragon. At this time, Yi Xian's cultivation had already reached 9th grade half-step True Venerable. He was only one step away from breaking through to True Venerable. Moreover, his captives had reached over 1,000 people. His wealth was so great that it could even tempt saint experts. A huge change happened in the Black Dragon stream. The people outside must be scared out of their wits, right? In the Black Dragon stream, Yi Xian grinned. But this time, other than cultivation resources, he had other gains. Among the Black Dragon Institute disciples and Black Dragon cult experts he had captured, many were actually spies of the White Dragon Palace. These people were called subordinates by that mysterious person. If there was a mission, that mysterious person would appear and give them instructions. Unfortunately, these people's memories had been erased. They also didn't know the identity of that mysterious person. However, what surprised Yi Xian the most was that the Black Dragon Institute's #1 genius, Duanmu Xinghe, was also a spy of the White Dragon Palace. The Black Dragon cult is really nurturing a tiger nurturing geniuses for the White Dragon Palace. Yi Xian helplessly shook his head. Then he thought of a person. Elder Sun. After thinking for a while, he decided not to leave through the Black Dragon stream, but through the small path that Yuan Lai had mentioned. This small path was actually a transmission array. However, due to the Black Dragon stream's influence, it could only be used to leave and not enter. Of course, before Yi Xian left, he had sent a message to Elder Sun, asking him to provide support at the small path. As for the reason, it was that he was being hunted down and had no choice but to agree to the other party's request. He was being held hostage. Elder Sun didn't think too much and followed Yi Xian's instructions. Soon, Yi Xian arrived at the small path that Yuan Lai and the other White Dragon Hall disciples knew. I'll pretend to submit to the White Dragon Palace and inform Elder Sun. Now, let's see if Elder Sun will make a move. Yi Xian thought to himself as he activated the teleportation array and started the teleportation. Hua! With a flash of white light, Yi Xian left the Black Dragon Ravine. At the same time, he left with a large number of undead creatures. At the same time, a high-level true emperor from the Black Dragon Institute left with him. He was a spy from the White Dragon Hall under Wei Zhentian's control. Hua! Somewhere outside the Black Dragon Stream, a hidden teleportation array suddenly began to operate. Finally, two people walked out. Yi Xian looked around. Previously, he had left a target with a death warrant at Black Dragon Stream. After the teleportation, he sensed that this place was quite far from Black Dragon Stream. I just don't know if Elder Sun has arrived yet. Great, this is great. Suddenly, an aged voice drifted in. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. He had heard this voice before. Elder Sun. As expected, Yi Xian's heart skipped a beat. In the next moment, he saw Elder Sun walking in with a smile on his face as he looked at Yi Xian. Elder Sun, save me ah! Yi Xian hurriedly transmitted his voice to Elder Sun for help. Brat, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Elder Sun shook his head. What do you mean? Yi Xian looked like he didn't understand the situation at all. Although I am a member of the Black Dragon Institute, my heart belongs to the White Dragon Hall. Elder Sun said. Hearing this, Yi Xian's body trembled. He said in shock, Elder Sun, you are also. Seeing Yi Xian's expression, Elder Sun helplessly shook his head. You're still too young ah. You're being chased, and I just happened to ask about your location. Don't you have any doubts? However, I'm a little curious about your ability to escape. I didn't expect Elder Sun to be a spy from the White Dragon Hall. Yi Xian said in disappointment. Hee, are you still waiting for me to save you? Elder Sun laughed. Give up. Joining my White Dragon Hall is the best choice. The Black Dragon Institute will be destroyed soon. Why? Yi Xian asked with a frown. The reason why the Black Dragon Institute has survived until now is because of the Dragon Soul inheritance in the Black Dragon Stream. Now that the sovereign Dragon Soul has been obtained by Duanmu Xinghe, there is no need for the Black Dragon Institute to exist anymore. Elder Sun said. Hearing this, Yi Xian's lips slightly curled up. It turned out that everyone thought that the sovereign Dragon Soul had been obtained by Duanmu Xinghe. After all, he was the most likely person to obtain the sovereign Dragon Soul. Seeing Yi Xian remain silent, Elder Sun continued. All right, I will take you back to the White Dragon Hall. At that time, the Hall Master will personally brainwash you. Don't worry, your achievements in the future will definitely not be lower than in the Black Dragon Institute. Is that so? Yi Xian's eyes slightly narrowed as the expression on his face suddenly turned cold. What kind of expression is that? Elder Sun was a little confused. Elder Sun, let me tell you a secret. Yi Xian's lips split into a wide grin. In fact, the one who obtained the sovereign Dragon Soul is not Duanmu Xinghe, but me. Elder Sun was visibly shaken, exclaiming in shock. What? Impossible! Nothing is impossible. What Black Dragon Institute's #1 genius Duanmu Xinghe was captured by me a long time ago. Now, I will let you experience what it means to be ganged up on. Before Yi Xian's words fell, a large group of figures appeared around him. 33 Supreme Qilin Dragons, 33 Supreme Bone Dragons, and 33 Supreme Blood Dragons appeared at the same time. Other than that, there were also over 1,000 undead creatures with half-true saint strength surrounding Elder Sun. Most importantly, Yi Xian's figure suddenly disappeared without a trace. At this moment, Elder Sun understood that Yi Xian was telling the truth. The sovereign Dragon Soul was actually obtained by Yi Xian. Otherwise, how could there be so many high-level half-true saint undead creatures here? Only by obtaining the sovereign Dragon Soul could one control these undead creatures. I'm only a 9th grade half-true saint. Although I'm stronger than Duanmu Xinghe, I can't stop so many undead creatures. Elder Sun swallowed a mouthful of saliva and quickly turned around to leave. Want to leave? Not so easy. Yi Xian's eyes widened. He quickly ordered the undead creatures to chase after Elder Sun. If Elder Sun returned alive, it would be disastrous. However, Yi Xian was too careless just now. In the end, Elder Sun still managed to break out of the encirclement and escape. I don't believe you can continue to escape. A light flickered in Yi Xian's eyes. He directly used his time reversal skill to return to the day before. One day later, he left the Black Dragon Stream and met with Elder Sun. This time, Yi Xian pretended to compromise and approached Elder Sun. Chapter 1904. This time, Yi Xian did not inform Elder Sun that he was the one who obtained the Supreme Dragon Soul. Thus, Elder Sun assumed that Duanmu Xinghe was the one who obtained the Supreme Dragon Soul. 99 Dragons Demonization Formation. Elder Sun did not understand how these undead creatures managed to leave the Black Dragon Stream, but under the joint attack of so many super experts, he couldn't do anything. In the end, he was blasted to death. Before he died, he saw the corner of Yi Xian's mouth curl up slightly. Only then did he realize who had summoned these undead creatures. So, it was Yi Xian who obtained the Supreme Dragon Soul. Elder Sun, you can rest in peace. I will destroy the White Dragon Hall. Yi Xian said slowly. By the time these words fell into Elder Sun's ears, he had already closed his eyes. Elder Sun, 9th grade half-saint. Dead. Wei Zhentian search his soul. Without further ado, Yi Xian threw Elder Sun's corpse into his space for Wei Zhentian to search his soul. Initially, Yi Xian assumed that Elder Sun was the mysterious person who had issued the order. However, after searching Elder Sun's corpse, he discovered that this was not the case. Elder Sun was actually the same as the Black Dragon Institute disciple beside Yi Xian, a spy planted by the White Dragon Hall. The mysterious person who had issued the order was not Elder Sun, but someone else. Elder Sun, a 9th grade half-saint, his status in the Black Dragon Institute was not low. However, this kind of existence was actually a subordinate. This was a little scary. A 9th grade half-saint who is infinitely close to entering the saint realm is only a subordinate. That mysterious person is definitely stronger than a saint. Thinking of this, Yi Xian couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva. There were not many saints in the Black Dragon Institute. Other than the dead Feng Bei Han, there were only the 8 Black Dragon Institute holy envoys and the 2 vice sect masters. Judging from this, that mysterious person was very likely to be one of the 8 Black Dragon Institute holy envoys. Of course, the 2 vice sect masters were also possible. Too scary. Yi Xian shook his head. After all, Vice Sect Master Hu Feng was his senior brother. If Hu Feng was that mysterious person, then the Black Dragon Institute was too dangerous for him. That's not right. Senior brother Hu Feng is the sect master's disciple. The chances of him being a spy for the White Dragon Hall are relatively small. After all, I've been alone with him before. With his cultivation level, if he wanted to capture me, no one would know. Yi Xian thought about it and felt that it was impossible, so for the time being, he believed that Hu Feng was not the mysterious man. However, he still had to be careful. Fortunately, he still had the time reversal skill, thus he could return to the Black Dragon Institute to take a look. The Black Dragon Institute security is very tight, and it's also very secluded. However, it just so happens that I've left a space tracker in my residence. When the time comes, I can directly send myself back. If someone asks, just say that I've left the Black Dragon Stream long ago. Yi Xian thought to himself as he hurried on with his journey. This journey was not short. Along the way, Yi Xian encountered many people from the White Dragon Palace. However, Yi Xian had disguised himself and was wearing the flowing light invisibility cloak, so no one discovered him. Soon, he arrived in the vicinity of the Black Dragon Institute. He directly tore open a space tunnel and returned to the Black Dragon Institute. From Elder Sun, Yi Xian had learned that the White Dragon Palace was aware of the Black Dragon Institute and Black Dragon Cult's locations, but they had not attacked because they wanted to obtain the Supreme Dragon Soul. However, now that the Supreme Dragon Soul had been obtained, a great battle would probably break out soon. Senior brother, what happened? After returning to the Black Dragon Institute, Yi Xian hurriedly sent a message to Hu Feng. You're not in the Black Dragon Stream? Hu Feng asked in astonishment. I came out a long time ago and have been in seclusion since then. Yi Xian replied. There's a sudden change in the Black Dragon Stream. A large number of undead creatures attacked my Black Dragon Institute's disciples. I wonder if it was Senior Black Dragon or the Supreme Dragon Soul that was. Hu Feng did not continue. However, Yi Xian interjected. Senior brother thinks that the Supreme Dragon Soul was obtained by the White Dragon Palace's spy, who then controlled those undead creatures? You actually know? Hu Feng was a little surprised. And because the Supreme Dragon Soul was obtained by me. Those things were done by me. Yi Xian nodded and told Hu Feng the whole story. In any case, he had the time reversal ability. If this Hu Feng was a spy from the White Dragon Palace, he would definitely take action. Yi Xian was using himself as bait, testing the waters. What? It's actually you? Hu Feng found this inconceivable. What realm was Yi Xian at? How could he obtain the Supreme Dragon Soul? However, this wasn't the time to think about this. Since the Supreme Dragon Soul has been obtained, the White Dragon Palace will definitely make a big move. They have many spies in our Black Dragon cult. Be careful. I'll send the 6th Holy Envoy to protect you. Hu Feng warned. Subsequently, Yi Xian told Hu Feng about Elder Sun and the others, letting Hu Feng understand that there might be Saint Realm spies in the Black Dragon cult. They actually hid so deeply. The Black Dragon Institute's matters have always been handled by Vice Leader Chen, while I am in charge of the Black Dragon cult. If this is the case, Vice Leader Chen is very suspicious. Hu Feng narrowed his eyes as he thought inwardly. If this was the case, then it would be troublesome. This time, the purge lasted for several days. They had dug out many spies from the White Dragon Palace, and there were even high-level half-true saints among them. However, Hu Feng did not take any action against the 8 Black Dragon Holy Envoys. Yi Xian, if what you said is true, that the mysterious person who gave the order is one of the 8 Black Dragon Holy Envoys or Vice Leader Chen, we won't be able to find anything if we continue to search like this. Hu Feng transmitted. Then what should we do? Yi Xian's eyebrows raised. Master wants me to immediately pass down the order to confer you as the 9th Black Dragon Holy Envoy. He wants me to lure the other Black Dragon Holy Envoys out one by one for me to search their souls. Hu Feng said. The 9th Black Dragon Holy Envoy. Hearing this, Yi Xian's eyes lit up. This was the target of one of his random missions. All right. Yi Xian immediately agreed. Hu Feng did not waste any time and directly gathered all the experts to pass down the order. Ding! Host has completed the random mission. Reward: Time Control Advancement. The system notification sounded. The reward for this random mission was actually time control. This was really not bad. Originally, 1 day in the outside world was equivalent to 560 years in the space. But now, it had increased to 1,120 years. 1 day, 1,000 years. This was simply too awesome. Speaking of which, Yi Xian had already become the 9th Black Dragon Holy Envoy. Moreover, he was also the youngest Black Dragon Holy Envoy in the history of the Black Dragon religion. Currently, he was only a 3rd-grade True Venerable. Even if he went all out, he could only fight against a 9th-grade True Emperor. The reason why he was able to capture so many half-true saints was because of the 99 9th-grade half-true saint undead creatures. Chapter 1905. I have a protective token here. It's enough for you to withstand 3 attacks from a saint expert. Later on, lure the other 7 saint envoys out and see if they are spies from the White Dragon Hall. If they attack you, I will immediately appear and save you. Hu Feng said. All right. Yi Xian nodded. With this protective token, everything would be much easier. Although he might not need it, it's not a bad idea. This protective token is not bad. Just keep it. I have the time reversal ability. At most, I can reverse time a few times and test everyone. Yi Xian thought to himself as he sent a message to one of the Black Dragon Envoys. This Black Dragon Envoys was the 8th Envoys, the founder of the Su Alliance, Su Dong. This brat is calling me out? Somewhere in the Black Dragon Institute, Su Dong opened his eyes with a strange expression on his face. In fact, he had never met Yi Xian before. They had only met once when Hu Feng appointed Yi Xian as the 9th Black Dragon Envoys. Why was Yi Xian calling for him? He didn't think too much about it. After all, Yi Xian's cultivation was so low. He couldn't be a threat to him, right? Perhaps he was looking for him because of the Su Alliance. Without further ado, Su Dong left the Black Dragon Institute, flying toward the designated location. Soon, he saw Yi Xian. He directly asked, 9th Envoys, why are you looking for me? 8th Envoys, since everyone understands, let's not beat around the bush. Yi Xian paused for a moment and said, you should know about the strange changes in the Black Dragon stream, right? How could I not know? We even sent many half-sages into the 4th and 5th layers of the Black Dragon stream, but they didn't find the Supreme Dragon Soul. However, those who woke up said that Senior Dragon Soul controlled a large number of undead creatures to attack them. Su Dong nodded. Then I'll tell you now. The person controlling the undead creatures isn't Senior Dragon Soul, but me. By the time Yi Xian finished speaking, many huge figures had already appeared in the surroundings. Thousands of undead creatures suddenly appeared, catching Su Dong off guard. It's you? Su Dong was shocked. Yes, the one who found the Supreme Dragon Soul was not Duanmu Xinghe, but me. Yi Xian nodded and smiled. 8th Saint Emissary, I know your true identity. That's why I asked you to come here alone. I want to surrender to you. Surrender? I don't understand. Su Dong's expression changed. 8th Saint Envoy, you should be from the White Dragon Palace, right? Yi Xian asked with narrowed eyes. Su Dong's face stiffened and he said, Don't slander me. Yi Xian looked at him and said, Isn't it you? If that's the case, then die. In the next moment, a strong wind blew. The 99 undead creatures formed the 99 Dragon Demonization Array and charged at Su Dong. Who was Su Dong? He was a saint. Moreover, the ones attacking him were just a group of undead creatures. Even if they formed a large formation, they would not be able to threaten him. However, when he saw what Yi Xian was doing, he immediately shouted, Wait! Su Dong, do you have any last words? Yi Xian asked with narrowed eyes. I only want to ask one thing. Why do you think I'm from the White Dragon Palace? Su Dong asked. That's because I said so. Suddenly, a voice entered Su Dong's ears. When he heard the voice, he trembled. Hu Feng. That was Hu Feng's voice. Su Dong had just reacted, and before he could turn around, he was restrained by an expert who suddenly appeared behind him. Deputy Leader Hu Yu? Su Dong said in surprise. 8th Black Dragon Emissary, I'm sorry to offend you. In order to investigate, I can only use the method of searching your soul. Hu Feng slapped Su Dong's head with one hand and began to search his soul. Ha ha ha, Deputy Leader Hu, you're just a second-stage saint. You want to search my soul? You're not. Su Dong laughed, and his face stiffened. He said in surprise, Third-stage saint? Hu Feng was already a third-stage saint? At first, everyone thought that Hu Feng was just a second-stage saint. They did not expect that Hu Feng had already broken through to the third-stage saint. Originally, even if the 9 Black Dragon emissaries joined forces, they would not be able to do anything to Hu Feng. Now that Hu Feng had broken through to the third-stage saint, even the 9 Black Dragon emissaries were like ants in front of him. It was just a simple soul search. Su Dong, you are indeed a spy from the White Dragon Palace. Hu Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. Ha ha, so what if I am? Su Dong grinned and laughed. Anyway, Hu Feng had already found out about this through the soul search, so there was no need to hide it anymore. That's right, Su Dong was the mysterious person who gave orders to Elder Sun, Yuan Lai, and the others. He was the spy that the White Dragon Palace had planted in the Black Dragon Valley. Yi Xian did not expect that he would be able to find the mysterious person among the 8 Black Dragon emissaries in one go. Hu Feng did not waste any time and stopped the soul search. He first dislocated Su Dong's limbs so that he would not have much fighting power before continuing the soul search. About half a day later. I see. The White Dragon Palace is going to launch a large-scale attack on the Black Dragon sect. Hu Feng's expression turned serious. He immediately took out a communication token and sent a message to the Black Dragon sect's leader. As for Su Dong, he captured him alive and carefully investigated him. Yi Xian, you have done well this time. However, there might be a huge battle coming up. Even if you participate in it, I'm afraid it won't be of much use. I will send the 6th emissary to protect you, Hu Feng said to Yi Xian. Why the 6th emissary? Yi Xian asked in confusion. Last time, Hu Feng also said that he would send the 6th emissary to protect him. Why? Because the 6th emissary is my son. After Hu Feng said this, he turned around and left with Su Dong. I see. Yi Xian finally understood. Perhaps even the other Black Dragon emissaries did not know about this. The 6th emissary had really hidden it well. He had even changed his surname. Yi Xian remembered that the sixth emissary was called Gu Tao. It seemed that he had changed his surname from Hu. If that was the case, then the sixth emissary could be trusted. Moreover, Yi Xian also knew that Hu Feng was not a member of the White Dragon Palace. Otherwise, there would be no need for him to drag out Su Dong and put on such a show for him. After Hu Feng left, Yi Xian also rushed back. He was going to seclude himself for a period of time. After all, there might be a huge battle coming up. Although he had 99 ninth stage half-saint undead creatures protecting him, his own strength was still the most important. This time, he would only be in seclusion for about 5 days. 5 days later, Yi Xian broke through to the 4th stage true venerated realm. His strength had increased by another step. The 6th emissary, Gu Tao, had already hidden himself and was secretly protecting Yi Xian. However, today. Rumble. Chapter 1906. Who's fighting? Who dares to make a move in the Black Dragon Institute? They really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. In such a tense situation, they actually dared to provoke conflict. Which blind bastard? This person no longer dared to continue speaking, because he saw that the several figures fighting in the air were not people he could afford to provoke. The 6 holy envoys had actually joined hands with Vice Leader Hu Feng, and their enemy was Vice Leader Chen. What was going on? What did Vice Leader Chen do? Chen Xian, you ingrate. The sect leader conferred you the position of Vice Leader, but you chose to side with the White Dragon Palace. Today is the day you die. Hu Feng's voice fell into everyone's ears. Vice Leader Chen Xian was actually someone from the White Dragon Palace? The White Dragon Palace had infiltrated so thoroughly. That was a Vice Leader Some time ago, Hu Feng had caught the spy Su Dong. He had thought that Su Dong was the mastermind, but who would have thought that Chen Xian was also involved? This was simply out of everyone's expectations. In truth, Yi Xian was not surprised by this. After all, he had thought that one of the 2 vice leaders would be a spy. Of course, Hu Feng was the sect leader's disciple, so his suspicion was lower. Relatively speaking, Vice Leader Chen Xian was more suspicious. Today, he had finally caught the spy. Ha ha ha, Hu Feng, you think you're the only one hiding your strength? Chen Xian roared with laughter. In the next instant, his aura soared. 2nd grade saint? No, he was the same as Hu Feng, a 3rd grade saint. Moreover, his battle prowess was exceptionally strong. He was actually able to face Hu Feng and the other 6 saint envoys on his own, and he still looked like he was handling them with ease. Today, none of you should think of keeping me here. Instead, you'll have to pay a price. Chen Xian sneered. No one knew what this price was, but they soon found out. Chen Xian's strength was simply too strong. He was much stronger than Hu Feng. Before he escaped, he had actually killed the 7th saint emissary before escaping without a trace. Hu Feng and the others were dumbfounded. 7 against 1. Not only were they unable to do anything to Chen Xian, they even allowed him to kill one of their own. How was this possible? A 3rd grade saint, we can't let him return to the White Dragon Palace. Chase. Hu Feng's expression darkened. He immediately led the remaining 5 sacred envoys to chase after Chen Xian. The Black Dragon Institute's geniuses swallowed a mouthful of saliva, feeling a sense of foreboding. Now that something had happened to the Black Dragon Stream and the White Dragon Hall spy had been exposed, would the Dragon-Slaying Alliance gather again and exterminate the Black Dragon sect? No one could say for sure. However, things were not that simple. While Hu Feng and the others were chasing after Chen Xian, the 6th Holy Envoy stayed behind in the Black Dragon Institute to protect Yi Xian. However, not long after Hu Feng left, another Holy Envoy actually returned. 3rd Saint, why are you back? The 6th Saint Emissary, Gu Tao, couldn't help but ask as he looked at the 3rd Saint Emissary, whose mouth was stained with blood. Deputy Sect Leader who asked me to come back and inform you that you are about to die. Before the 3rd Saint Emissary finished speaking, he suddenly revealed his fox tail and struck the 6th Saint Emissary, Gu Tao. Sneak attack. The 3rd Saint had actually launched a sneak attack on Gu Tao. 3rd Saint Emissary you? Gu Tao was shocked. Before this, he had a pretty good relationship with the 6th Saint Emissary. Why did he suddenly launch a sneak attack? He immediately understood that this fellow was probably a spy from the White Dragon Hall. Who would have thought that Hu Feng would be so careless as to think that there was only Su Dong and Xianxia? The third saint emissary wasn't injured at all. Just now, he had joined hands with the other holy envoys and Hu Feng. After Xianxia left, they had split up to chase after him. However, the third saint emissary suddenly turned back with the intention of killing Gu Tao. This plan could be considered to be half completed. Damned white dragon hall spy die! Gu Tao was enraged. He directly transformed into his true form and charged toward the third saint emissary. Yi Xian also didn't expect that there would be another enemy. He couldn't care about anything else and directly summoned 99 half-true saint undead creatures. 99 Dragons Demonization Formation. Myriad Beasts Diagram, Suppress. Gu Tao and the third saint emissary, who had already transformed into their true forms, instantly lost 70% of their combat strength. What? Gu Tao and the third saint emissary were shocked. Yi Xian quickly sent a telepathic message to Gu Tao, and then ordered the 99 undead creatures to attack. Even though the third saint emissary was a saint and his injured state was just a disguise, under the suppression of the myriad beasts diagram, the two of them couldn't immediately determine the victor. Most importantly, Yi Xian had already told Gu Tao the effects of the myriad beasts diagram. If Gu Tao had the chance later, he could transform into his human form and kill the third saint emissary. Of course, during this time, Yi Xian had to use the 99 dragons to restrain the third saint emissary. Rumble! Loud noises continuously sounded in the sky. The 99 half-true saint undead creatures formed the 99 dragons demonization formation. Together with Gu Tao, they started an intense battle with the third saint emissary. Since Gu Tao was severely injured by the third saint emissary, the two of them were evenly matched. However, there was still a more difficult opponent who was continuously accumulating power. Immortal Slaying Puppet. Immortal Slashing Arrow. Yi Xian used the immortal beasts that he had stored in the planting space to continuously use his ultimate moves. In the blink of an eye, countless immortal slaying puppets and countless immortal slashing arrows flew towards the third saint emissary. The third saint emissary couldn't understand why his strength had suddenly decreased by 70%. However, the current situation didn't seem optimistic. After all, there were still many high-level half-true saints in the Black Dragon Institute. If these people were to join forces, they would be extremely terrifying. Go! The third saint emissary immediately turned around and prepared to leave. Originally, he wanted to launch a sneak attack to kill Gu Tao. However, he didn't expect that he would fail to kill the latter in one strike. However, he also didn't expect that he would die soon. Gu Tao, kill him. At this time, Yi Xian suddenly transmitted a message to Gu Tao. He and Gu Tao's father, Hu Feng, were martial brothers. Therefore, he could be considered as Gu Tao's father. After Gu Tao heard Yi Xian's words, he instantly transformed from his original body into his human form. Without being affected by the 10,000 beasts diagram, his speed soared as he directly flashed in front of the third saint emissary and fiercely smashed his fist down. Bang! The third saint emissary opened his dragon mouth and let out a deafening roar. He didn't understand why Gu Tao's strength had suddenly increased after transforming into his human form. No, it wasn't that his strength had increased. It should be said that his strength had recovered. Unfortunately, it was already too late by the time he realized this. The 99 half-true saint undead creatures had already launched a joint attack. Not only that, there were also countless immortal slaying puppets, immortal slashing arrows, and Yi Xian's move. Chapter 1907. Boom! With a loud bang, the third saint fell. The system notification rang in Yi Xian's head. A saint was dead. The third saint definitely did not expect to die here. Even Gu Tao did not expect to be able to kill the third saint. This was all thanks to Yi Xian. I didn't expect the third saint to be from the White Dragon Palace too. How many people did they send in? Gu Tao could not help but ask. Senior brother and the others went to chase after Xianxia. Will there be any accidents? Yi Xian frowned. The original vice leader, Xianxia, was also a spy from the White Dragon Palace. What if he deliberately exposed himself and lured Hu Feng into a trap? Right now, Hu Feng, a third-grade saint, was the strongest person in the Black Dragon sect. The mysterious leader had never shown himself. If Hu Feng died, the Black Dragon sect would probably be disbanded. Gu Tao immediately sent a message to Hu Feng, but he did not get a reply immediately. However, he got one after a while. Tisk. TSK. TSK. Your leader Hu Feng has fallen. Today is the day you die. Yi Xian and Gu Tao were very familiar with this voice. It was the voice of the White Dragon Palace's spy, Xianxia. Hu Feng was dead? Impossible. How could father? Gu Tao's eyes widened. He could not believe this fact. However, since Xianxia had received the message, it meant that he had obtained Hu Feng's interspatial ring. Right now, there were only two possibilities. First, Hu Feng was severely injured by Xianxia and his interspatial ring was taken. Second, Hu Feng was really dead. Release the other saint envoys. Yi Xian immediately said. Unfortunately, they were going to be disappointed. Don't bother. Other than the first and second saint envoys who surrendered, everyone else is dead. This voice was still Xianxia's. It seemed that they were in trouble. A third-grade saint is indeed a threat to the White Dragon Palace. However, Hu Feng is dead. Your mysterious leader has never appeared. The Black Dragon sect is almost destroyed. You should surrender. When this voice entered Yi Xian and Gu Tao's ears, they both trembled. This was because this voice did not come from the communication token. It came from the sky. They abruptly turned their heads and discovered that there were three additional figures in the air. Xianxia, the first and second Black Dragon emissaries. 1 third-stage saint and 2 first-stage saints. The Black Dragon sect was finished. Looks like we can only use the time reversal skill. However, we don't need to use it so soon. Let's wait and see. Yi Xian watched with a serious expression. Who would have thought that the third saint would fail? What a piece of trash. Xianxia looked at the corpse on the ground and said, Gu Tao, the Black Dragon cult is almost annihilated. I'll give you a chance to surrender now. How about it? He did not know that Gu Tao was Hu Feng's son, so he extended an olive branch. After all, he was also a saint and was not weak. Don't even think about it. When Gu Tao heard this, he immediately replied. What a joke. Xianxia had killed his father. How could he possibly submit to the White Dragon Palace? Since that's the case, there's no need for you to live. You two go and kill him. After Xianxia finished speaking, he glanced at the first and second emissaries. These two people had just surrendered midway, which was why Xianxia was able to kill Hu Feng. Since the first and second saint envoys had decided to surrender, they had to show their sincerity. Damn it! Gu Tao's expression changed drastically. He sent a voice transmission to Yi Xian. If I die in battle later, you can join the White Dragon Palace. If you have the heart, then grow up and destroy the White Dragon Palace to avenge us. He was already heavily injured. Moreover, the first and second saint envoys were stronger than him. In addition, there was a third-grade saint, Xianxia, behind them. There was no way he could survive. However, Yi Xian was different. Yi Xian was so talented and had obtained the Dragon Soul inheritance. The White Dragon Palace would definitely focus on nurturing him. The reason why the White Dragon Palace did not destroy the Black Dragon cult was because of the Dragon Soul inheritance. Now that the Dragon Soul inheritance had been obtained, there was no need for the Black Dragon cult to exist. However, at this moment, the first and second saint envoys were about to attack when they suddenly sensed 4 powerful auras. They immediately stopped. Who's there? Xianxia turned his head and saw 4 figures in the sky. These 4 people were all dressed in black, and only their eyes were exposed. Xiao, 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 xiao. Before he could finish speaking, the 4 figures charged towards Xianxia at the same time. Their speed was extremely fast, which made Xianxia feel a little surprised. These 4 people were all second-grade saints. Where did you come from? You're courting death. Xianxia's expression changed. He immediately transformed into his original form and charged forward. However, what was surprising was that the 4 of them were actually able to force him back. What a joke. He was a third-grade saint. How could he be forced back by 4 second-grade saints? Where did these 4 people come from? Xianxia's expression changed. The next moment, he transformed into his original form. The original vice leader of the Black Dragon cult was a third-grade saint. However, he had fused with many supreme-grade dragon scales and dragon souls. His strength was actually comparable to a 4th-grade saint. After transforming into his original form, his strength skyrocketed. Formation. Seeing that Xianxia had transformed into his original form, the 4 of them immediately formed a sword formation. They were actually able to fight evenly with Xianxia's original form. One should know that these 4 people were humans. However, they were facing a 3rd-grade saint, Xianxia, who had fused with countless supreme-grade dragon scales. Square sword formation? Seeing this, Xianxia knew who they were. He exclaimed, "The 4 generals of the 4 directions pavilion. What are you doing?" As soon as he said that, the battle instantly stopped. Since we've been recognized, there's no need to hide anymore. The leader took off his mask and revealed his true face. So it's you guys. Why did you stop me? Xianxia couldn't help but ask. The pavilion master is also interested in the Black Dragon cult. Of course, he won't let the White Dragon Palace monopolize it, Fengjiang said. Didn't the 4 Directions Pavilion say that you won't interfere in this matter? Xianxia asked again. Fengjiang snorted coldly. Then you'll have to ask our pavilion master. Anyway, you can't touch anyone in the Black Dragon cult now. Just the 4 of you? Xianxia's huge dragon eyes scanned the surroundings. I, Xianxia, willingly fused with the world-destroying dragon scale. I went from a noble white dragon scale to a disgusting black dragon scale. I've been waiting for this day. Now that you dare to stop me, don't blame me for not giving face to your pavilion master. That's your own problem. If you want to fight, then fight. When the time comes, don't blame us for not showing mercy and injuring you. Fengjiang continued to snort. You're courting death. Xianxia was furious and charged forward again. Below, Yixian and Gu Tao were at a loss for words as they watched the battle in the sky. Chapter 1908. The 4 Directions Pavilion is also a part of the Dragon Slaughter Alliance? Yixian was astonished hearing this. However, he had already obtained the Dragon's Soul inheritance. Perhaps it was still useful to the White Dragon Hall, but to the 4 Directions Pavilion, it was nothing. Could it be that they had taken a fancy to him, a genius with outstanding talent? In any case, Yixian didn't understand, so he decided to just wait and see. No, he couldn't just watch with folded arms. If Xianxia won, Gu Tao would most likely die, and the 4 Directions Pavilion would be better off compared to the White Dragon Hall. Thus, Yixian decided to make a move. Myriad Beasts Diagram, suppress for me. In an instant, Xianxia's strength decreased by 70%, even weaker than his human form. What? Xianxia widened his eyes in shock. In the next moment, he saw his body being slashed by the 4 wind, lightning, rain, and lightning generals. The pavilion master has ordered. His life is to be taken, behead. The wind general suddenly spoke, although he had no idea why Xianxia's strength decreased. What, you dare? Hearing this, Xianxia's eyes widened. Unfortunately, it was too late to save himself. His dragon heart was directly cut in half. 3rd-grade Saint Realm expert Xianxia fell just like that. Xianxia probably didn't expect that he would die here. After all, he was the White Dragon Hall Master's younger brother. However, no one knew about this. After Xianxia died, the 4 Directions Pavilion people collected his corpse and captured the 2 white-eyed wolf holy envoys. Then the leading wind general turned around, looking at Gu Tao and Yixian. Pavilion Master, please invite everyone from the Black Dragon cult. Invite everyone? Yixian was a little surprised. Before he could react, the 4 generals of wind and thunder slapped out with their palms, causing the ground to crack. Immediately after, a teleportation array rose up. Even Gu Tao didn't know about this transmission array. Why is there such a transmission array in the Black Dragon Institute? Where does it lead to? Gu Tao exclaimed in shock. No one in the Black Dragon Institute dared to be negligent, except for Gu Tao. However, the other side didn't seem to have any hostility, and they even helped him take revenge, so he didn't refuse, deciding to wait and see. Soon, everyone from the Black Dragon Institute stepped into the transmission array. Hua! The huge teleportation array began to operate. Due to the large number of people, the teleportation took some time. After an unknown period of time, the teleportation array finally stopped. At this moment, Yi Xian and the others were standing on top of a mountain peak. This is? Gu Tao asked in shock. Four Directions Pavilion. The Wind General replied. What? As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was shocked. How could there be a transmission array under the Black Dragon Institute that connected to the four-way pavilion? How was this possible? Even Gu Tao didn't understand this. Greetings, Pavilion Master. At this moment, the four generals of wind, thunder, rain, and lightning suddenly cupped their fists and greeted him respectfully. Everyone looked over and discovered that a figure was slowly walking out of the clouds. This was a white-haired old man. He wore white clothes, but the aura on his body overshadowed everyone from the Black Dragon Church. So strong. The Pavilion Master of the Four Directions Pavilion? Yi Xian raised an eyebrow. He suddenly had a guess in his heart. The Black Dragon Institute was a place where the Black Dragon Church nurtured their elites. However, why would there be a transmission array under the Black Dragon Institute that connected to the four-way pavilion? Could it be that the Black Dragon Church was related to the four-way pavilion? On top of that, the four generals of wind, thunder, rain, and lightning's actions convinced Yi Xian. Let me introduce myself. I am the four-way pavilion master, Qi Song. The white-haired old man paused for a second, then added, At the same time, I am also your Black Dragon Church's leader. Hiss. Hearing this, everyone was dumbfounded. This wasn't a joke, right? The four-way pavilion master was the Black Dragon Church's leader? How was this possible? In your impression, the Black Dragon Church's leader is very mysterious, but there's a reason for that. After all, it's not good for me to show my face in public. Thus, I accepted Hu Feng as a disciple to represent the Black Dragon Church. Qi Song added, Unfortunately, when he was sending me the message, he was killed by Xianxia. Fortunately, the four generals of wind, thunder, rain, and lightning arrived in time, otherwise, the Black Dragon Church would have been annihilated. You're really the sect leader? Gu Tao found it hard to believe, and so did the others. After all, the four-way pavilion master was once the vice-leader of the dragon-slaying alliance. How could he be the one who established the Black Dragon Church? Unbelievable! Back then, I was indeed the vice-leader of the dragon-slaying alliance, but I tried to stop the White Dragon Hall in the Thousand Mountain sect, but I failed. Qi Song shook his head. Everyone found it hard to believe. If it weren't for the pavilion master, all of you would have been killed by Xianxia. If it weren't for that, we wouldn't have killed Xianxia. Xianxia was a third-grade saint, so his status in the White Dragon Hall must be high. Hence, the pavilion master didn't need to lie to you, Feng Jiang said. Indeed. The four-way pavilion master didn't need to do that. Now, all of you will join my four-way pavilion. After the four-way pavilion master finished speaking, his gaze fell on Yi Xian, and he said, You're Yi Xian, right? Yes. Yi Xian nodded. Previously, you defeated the Black Dragon Tower I established, so I asked Hu Feng to take you in. However, the situation is different now. Are you willing to continue to be my disciple? Qi Song asked. Yi Xian was a little hesitant because he still didn't know what kind of power the four-way pavilion was. Everything had changed too quickly. It's fine. You don't have to answer so quickly. However, I have some things that I want to ask you in private. Qi Song turned and left after he finished speaking. Yi Xian paused for a moment before following him. After a while, Qi Song brought Yi Xian to the edge of a cliff and asked through voice transmission, You've already obtained the Dragon Soul inheritance, right? Yes. Yi Xian nodded. What about the Mark of Annihilation? Qi Song asked again. This surprised Yi Xian. He didn't expect Qi Song to know about the Mark of Annihilation. It's also in my hands. Yi Xian replied directly. Qi Song sighed and said, Previously, I stopped the Dragon Slaughter Alliance because I wanted to see if the Black Destruction Dragon could control the Mark of Annihilation. Of course, I also wanted the Mark of Annihilation. However, I later found out that it's not something that humans can control. Even a great saint would find it difficult to control it. The one who obtained the Mark of Annihilation should be your Black Destruction Dragon, right? Faced with this question, Yi Xian nodded slightly. That's right. It fused with the Mark of Annihilation. Your Black Destruction Dragon should have the same bloodline as the Black Destruction Dragon. They should be of the same race, which is why they were able to fuse with it. Since it's already in your hands, I won't ask you for it. However, I have a condition. Chapter 1909. Hearing this, Yi Xian asked curiously, "What's the condition?" Qi Song looked into the distance and said slowly, "Don't ever let the White Dragon Palace get their hands on it." Although Yi Xian did not understand why, he replied solemnly, "This junior will definitely accomplish this." Good. Qi Song nodded in satisfaction and continued, "As far as I know, the White Dragon Palace has recently refined something called the Pool of Purification. It can purify the World Destruction Dragon Scale and allow those white dragons to absorb it. I estimate that the White Dragon Palace's current strength has most likely surpassed the 4 square pavilions and the 1,000 Mountain sect. Just now, Chen Xian died at the hands of the 4 generals of wind, thunder, rain, and lightning. Once the news reaches the White Dragon Palace, they will definitely take action." "Then what should we do?" Yi Xian frowned. The 4 square pavilions and the remnants of the Black Dragon cult may not be as strong as the White Dragon Palace, but they are not to be trifled with. After Qi Song finished speaking, he summoned someone and asked him to arrange a residence for Yi Xian. Then, Yi Xian stayed in the 4 square pavilions. Sure enough, within a few days, the people from the White Dragon Palace came looking for him. "Qi Song, come out." An explosive shout rang out in the sky above the 4 square pavilions. Chapter 1910. "That's exactly what I was thinking." Qi Song nodded. "However, there's still an old man called Cui Ming in White Dragon Hall. He's the leader of the Dragon-Slaying Alliance. I wonder if he's a 4th-rank saint?" A 4th-rank saint was 1 realm higher than him. Adding on the fact that he was a Xiao Yao, Qi Song might not be able to beat him even with the myriad beasts diagram. "Then let's wait for a while." Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. He was a true sovereign now. As long as he broke through again, becoming a 4th-rank saint would be a piece of cake. "Okay, I need to organize my men." Qi Song nodded. However, the White Dragon Hall Lord was dead and the Life Jade Tablet was shattered. White Dragon Hall would probably make a big move soon. Yi Xian didn't care too much and continued cultivating. During this time, people from the 4 Directions Pavilion would occasionally report on the situation. What was puzzling was that White Dragon Hall didn't come after the death of the White Dragon Hall Lord. It was as if nothing had happened, which was very strange. Could it be that they were afraid of an expert from the 4 Directions Pavilion, or that the old man was in seclusion? Ding! Host has broken through to 6th-rank True Sovereign. Ding! Inferno Ghostly Lord, World-Destroying Ghostly Dragon, Wei Zhentian, and Sky-Breaking Ape God have broken through to 1st-rank Half-Step True Emperor. After more than 10 days, the World-Destroying Ghostly Dragon finally broke through to Half-Step True Emperor. If Yi Xian were to combine with the World-Destroying Ghostly Dragon and go all out, his strength should be at the saint level, right? If that was the case, he could go to White Dragon Hall alone. The White Dragon Hall Lord has been dead for so long and they still haven't done anything. Might as well take the initiative. Yi Xian thought to himself. If he were to ally with the 4 Directions Pavilion, he would have to share the spoils with them. It was better to go alone. "Let's go." Yi Xian didn't say anything else and directly left through the void. The old tree had left the 4 Directions Pavilion a long time ago. Yi Xian had also left through the void to locate them. Now, he was leaving the 4 Directions Pavilion under the protection of so many people. White Dragon Palace. I'm coming. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes as he recalled the Sovereign Dragon Soul's final wish. Destroy the White Dragon Palace. After a few teleportations, Yi Xian finally arrived at the White Dragon Palace's territory. Fortunately, he had the highest grade Pearl of Annihilation in his body. Otherwise, the White Dragon Palace would have discovered him. Lightstream Invisibility Cloak. Yi Xian concealed himself and headed towards the White Dragon Palace. After a while, he stood outside the White Dragon Palace and sensed the powerful auras inside. The White Dragon Palace was much more powerful than the Black Dragon sect. Even though the Palace Master and 4 Rank 1 saints had died, they were still powerful. Today, I'll give you an appetizer. The corners of Yi Xian's mouth curled up slightly. He merged with his body and charged in. The appearance of this aura immediately alarmed the experts in the White Dragon Palace. Yi Xian's target was also these saint-level experts. He didn't wait for them to react before opening his mouth. Apocalyptic roar. Boom. The power of this attack wasn't any weaker than Qi Song's Wind Thunderclaw. With just one attack, it pierced through the dragon heart of a white dragon palace saint. Ding! The host's killing intent has increased. A system notification rang in Yi Xian's mind. This wasn't the end. Immortal slaying puppet. Immortal slashing arrow. Yi Xian kept summoning and instantly gained a lot of help. At the same time, the experts in the White Dragon Palace also charged out. Unfortunately, Yi Xian wasn't weak now. He could even fight against a rank 3 saint, let alone them. Apocalyptic roar. Yi Xian didn't care about them and continued to attack. The corpses of the saints fell from the sky one by one. How dare you! Suddenly, a powerful aura spread. This aura made Yi Xian's heart palpitate. A rank 4 saint? The old guy from the White Dragon Palace had charged out. Today is the day that the apocalyptic ghostly dragon is about to unleash its apocalyptic divine might. I'll start with all of you. Yi Xian glared and directly flashed to the center of the White Dragon Palace hall with the eye of assassination. Then, apocalyptic divine might. Kaboom! A dazzling black light bloomed and instantly enveloped half of the White Dragon Palace hall. Although the apocalyptic ghostly dragon's current level was low, it had so many enhancements and the slaughter state. The power this time was probably no weaker than the apocalyptic black dragon's previous attack. Kaboom! In the blink of an eye, countless people in the White Dragon Palace hall were blown to smithereens. A huge hole appeared in the White Dragon Palace hall. Not only that, but many of the saints also died. Almost all the rank 1 saints nearby were killed, and the rank 2 saints suffered heavy casualties. However, the old palace master of the White Dragon Palace, Cui Ming, was unharmed. This is the apocalyptic mark? Cui Ming immediately recognized it. After all, he was the leader of the dragon-slaying alliance back then. Good fellow, you're quite strong. Yi Xian also noticed him and thought to himself. Now, his priority was to destroy the White Dragon Palace Hall because he was not short of money. The things in the devouring space were enough for him to break through 10 or 20 times. Once he finished breaking through, he would no longer be interested in the things in the White Dragon Palace Hall. Old man, let's fight, Yi Xian said to Cui Ming. Junior, you're courting death. Cui Ming was furious. After all, Yi Xian dared to rush into the White Dragon Palace Hall and unleash the apocalyptic mark. That attack just now killed more than 100,000 White Dragon Palace Hall disciples, including his tribe. How could he not take revenge for this? Whoosh! Cui Ming immediately charged toward Yi Xian, but he did not transform into his original form. Yi Xian quickly used the death hunting order to mark his opponent, then controlled the immortal slaying puppet and the immortal eliminating arrow to attack Cui Ming. At the same time, his original body opened its mouth and spat out a mouthful of air. Apocalyptic roar. The apocalyptic roar that was infused with the apocalyptic mark was shockingly powerful. However, with Cui Ming's realm and strength, it would not be easy to kill him. Sacred Dragon Light of Purification. Facing this attack, Cui Ming threw out a punch, which collided with the apocalyptic roar. Although he had not transformed into his original form, he could use the sacred power in his body at any time. This attack actually dispersed the apocalyptic roar. It was not hard to imagine that if his original body had used the sacred dragon light of purification, he would have been able to attack Yi Xian directly. However, Cui Ming was afraid that if he killed Yi Xian in one hit, wouldn't the apocalyptic mark be gone? This old man is really strong. Even if I go all out, I won't be a match for him. I don't know if I can force his original body out. Yi Xian thought with a gloomy expression. He did not care too much and directly faced the attack. At the same time, he activated a formation. Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. Chapter 1911. Child's Play. Cui Ming coldly snorted. He was a 4th grade saint. Wouldn't it be humiliating if Yi Xian, who wasn't even a true emperor, hurt him? In an instant, the two exchanged blows. A layer of white light appeared in Cui Ming's body, blocking the attacks of the Immortal Slaying Sword Formation, the Immortal Slaying Puppets, and the Immortal Extinguishing Arrows. Yi Xian had heard that the White Dragon Palace had created a pond of purification that could purify the apocalyptic dragon scales and fuse them with the White Dragon. No one knew how many apocalyptic dragon scales Cui Ming had fused with, but his strength was terrifying. If such an expert were to attack the 4-Direction Pavilion or the Thousand Mountains sect, they wouldn't be able to handle him. Old man, Why didn't you transform into your true form? During the battle, Yi Xian couldn't help but ask. Do I need my true form to deal with you? Cui Ming coldly snorted. Ha ha ha, you must think that your true form is too ugly. To be honest, your true form is like a big white lizard, disgusting as hell. Yi Xian loudly mocked. His voice fell into the ears of all the survivors. How dare this guy provoke the old palace master? Bastard, if I don't skin you alive today, my surname isn't Cui. Cui Ming was furious. He transformed into his true form and prepared to deal with Yi Xian in one blow. Unfortunately, this was exactly what Yi Xian wanted. You finally transformed into your true form. Yi Xian looked at the huge white figure and his eyes lit up. He immediately summoned Wei Zhentian. Myriad Beasts Diagram. Suppress. In an instant, Cui Ming's strength dropped by 70%. His speed, offensive power, and defensive power were all weakened. Moreover, the moment when he was surprised was the best opportunity for Yi Xian to attack. Apocalyptic Divine Might. Yi Xian's eyes flashed as a black light bloomed from his body. Boom! A terrifying aura instantly spread out. Fortunately, the White Dragon Palace had already suffered from the apocalyptic divine might. Moreover, it was in the air this time, so the damage wasn't as great as before. What surprised Yi Xian the most was that Cui Ming was actually able to block this attack. F***ck, he actually transformed into a human form to block the attack. Is he afraid that his original body will be too big and suffer too much damage? Yi Xian's expression darkened. It seemed that he had made a mistake this time. If he had known, he would have used Apocalyptic Roar directly. Moreover, after this incident, Cui Ming knew that his human form was even stronger than his original form. He wouldn't be able to transform into his original form so easily next time. This time, I can't beat him. Since that's the case, let's meet again in a few days. Yi Xian snorted coldly and quickly tore through the void and left. This time, he did not intend to use the time reversal skill. He wanted to teach the White Dragon Palace a lesson and let them live in the shadows. When Yi Xian made another breakthrough in his realm, he would come to the White Dragon Palace to cause trouble. As long as he could kill this Tier 4 Saint Cui Ming, the White Dragon Palace would be considered destroyed. Damn thing, I will definitely kill you. At this moment, Yi Xian had already left the White Dragon Palace and was looking for a place to cultivate in seclusion. Time slowly passed. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Ding! Host has made a breakthrough. Currently a Tier 7 True Venerable. Ding! Infernal Ghostly Lord, World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon, Wei Zhentian, and Sky-Breaking Ape God have made a breakthrough. Currently a Tier 2 Half-Step True Emperor. Finally, a breakthrough in Realm. A few days ago, Yi Xian and Cui Ming were evenly matched in their battle. However, now that Yi Xian had made a breakthrough, Cui Ming would not be able to cause any more trouble. Therefore, Yi Xian immediately made a move. However, when he arrived at the White Dragon Palace again, he happened to see a group entering the White Dragon Palace. So strong. There are actually 2 Tier 3 saints and more than 10 Tier 1 and Tier 2 saints. Yi Xian was shocked. Where did these people come from? Only the Thousand Mountain Sect could have such a powerful cultivator in the nearby area. The Thousand Mountain Sect, White Dragon Palace, and the Four Direction Pavilion had formed the Dragon-Slaying Alliance. What were they trying to do in the White Dragon Palace now? Yi Xian did not understand the situation and decided to wait and see. However, he saw that the Thousand Mountain Sect people had entered the White Dragon Palace for half a day and nothing had happened. Therefore, he suspected that the White Dragon Palace had invited the Thousand Mountain Sect people here to deal with the Four Direction Pavilion. If it was the previous White Dragon Palace, one person would be enough to deal with the Four Direction Pavilion alone. However, after Yi Xian caused great damage to them, only the old Palace Master, a Tier 3 Saint, and a few injured Tier 2 Saints were left. This would not be enough to deal with the Four Direction Pavilion. I think the Thousand Mountain Sect and the White Dragon Palace have joined forces. If that's the case, I'll kill you too. Yi Xian did not say anything. He directly merged with the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon and charged in. The White Dragon Palace and the Thousand Mountain Sect had a total of 1 Tier 4 Saint, 3 Tier 3 Saints, and more than 10 Tier 2 and Tier 1 Saints. Back then, Yi Xian could easily kill a Tier 2 Saint. Now that he had made a breakthrough, even a Tier 3 Saint was like an ant in his eyes. However, if these people gathered together, it would still be difficult to deal with. The appearance of his aura immediately attracted the attention of the White Dragon Palace and the Thousand Mountain Sect experts. That brat has finally appeared. Today, I'll take your life. Cui Ming was furious. He directly used the aura to sense Yi Xian. Too naive. Yi Xian smirked. He directly used the Death Hunt command to mark the Tier 3 saint behind Cui Ming. Eye of Assassination. Massacre Mode. Divine Aura of Annihilation. A dazzling black light bloomed. This scene had already happened twice a few days ago. This was the third time. Moreover, at such a close distance, even a Tier 3 saint would be blasted into pieces. Not only that, but the Thousand Mountain Sect team was also not far from Yi Xian. The divine aura of annihilation also threatened them. Fortunately, they were gathered together and could still work together to resist. Other than the Tier 1 saints, the Tier 2 saints and above were only slightly injured. What a powerful attack. Is this the power of the Mark of Annihilation? Why do I feel like it's much stronger than before? This person's aura is only a Tier 2 half-step true emperor. How can it be stronger than the Black Annihilation Dragon? Could it be? His bloodline is stronger than the Black Annihilation Dragons. We must not let him live. We must kill him. The Thousand Mountain Sect experts were shocked. Yi Xian had become someone they must kill. The reason they came to the White Dragon Palace this time was to join forces with the White Dragon Palace and kill Yi Xian in the cradle. Unfortunately, things were not that easy. With the World Annihilation Ghostly Dragon's current state, it can only unleash its divine aura 3 times a day. This is the first time. I must make good use of the next 2 times. Otherwise, this trip will be a waste of time. Yi Xian thought to himself. In fact, with his current situation, it was not a big deal for him to wait a while longer to attack the White Dragon Palace. At that time, his strength would increase and even Cui Ming would be like an ant in his eyes. Chapter 1912. Immortal Slaying Puppet. Immortal Slashing Arrow. Immortal Slaying Sword Formation. Yi Xian used his trump cards one after another. The Immortal Slaying Sword Formation was activated and instantly surrounded the experts of the White Dragon Palace and the Thousand Mountain Sect. Don't spread out. The leader of the Thousand Mountain Sect hurriedly shouted. This sword formation was enough to pose a threat to a third-rank saint. It would be fine if they stayed together, but if they spread out, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, even if they did not spread out, would Yi Xian not be able to do anything to them? Death Pursuit Order. Eye of Assassination. In an instant, Yi Xian directly marked one of the people in the middle, and then appeared behind him out of thin air. After being strengthened by the Eye of Assassination, the power of destruction was extremely terrifying. Boom! Black light bloomed, and the entire White Dragon Palace seemed to have fallen into night. Just now, that was how the third-rank saint of the White Dragon Palace died. Yi Xian used it again, and this time, no one survived. The Thousand Mountain Sect team was completely wiped out. Now, only the powerful 4th-rank saint, Cui Ming, was left. Old man, it's just me and you left again. Yi Xian's lips curled up slightly. Cui Ming looked at Yi Xian with a gloomy expression and said coldly, What are you? Me. Of course I'm the inheritor of the Black Destruction Dragon. I've inherited his last wish, and that is to destroy the White Dragon Palace. Yi Xian replied. As long as I'm not dead, the White Dragon Palace will still exist. Cui Ming said. Is that so? Yi Xian grinned. The next moment, countless immortal slaying puppets appeared out of thin air. There were at least 100 of them. The White Dragon Palace set off a storm of blood. Every time someone died, an immortal slaying puppet would appear. There were fewer and fewer people. However, there were more and more immortal slaying puppets. In addition, there was the assistance of the old tree, the sky-breaking ape god, and the others. There was no way to fight at all. I'm going to kill you. Cui Ming looked at the White Dragon Palace that he had built being massacred by Yi Xian, and his eyes turned red. However, he had suffered a setback last time, so he didn't dare to transform into his true form again because that would make him weaker than his human form. As such, he could only maintain his human form and fight Yi Xian. Kill. Their fighting spirit had been ignited to the extreme. Today, one of them had to fall. Otherwise, the battle would not end. If it were a few days ago, Yi Xian definitely wouldn't have been able to defeat Cui Ming. However, after breaking through today, and with the help of so many immortal slaughtering puppets, Cui Ming was instantly at a disadvantage. The immortal slaying sword formation, the immortal slaying puppets, and the immortal extinguishing arrows kept Cui Ming busy. Could it be that today is truly the day of destruction for my White Dragon Palace? Cui Ming, who was covered in wounds, couldn't help but think. He suddenly recalled that the calamity countless years ago was caused by the world-destroying Black Dragon. In truth, the places that had been destroyed by the Black Destruction Dragon back then were all places with very few people. However, the White Dragon Palace had taken a fancy to the Black Destruction Dragon's world destruction imprint, so they had formed the Dragon Slaying Alliance. Today was their retribution.
Old man, it's time for me to send you to hell.
When Yi Xian saw Cui Ming's expression, he knew that Cui Ming had given up. At this time, there were already hundreds of immortal extinguishing arrows and hundreds of immortal slaughtering puppets. Cui Ming had no chance of surviving.
Let me finish you off with this attack.
Yi Xian opened his eyes wide and prepared to use the world-destroying roar to kill Cui Ming. However, at this moment,
buzz!
Suddenly, an aura spread out, and time seemed to stop in the entire White Dragon Palace. Everyone was unable to move, including Yi Xian and Cui Ming. I really didn't expect. A voice fell into Yi Xian's ears. Then, a figure entered his sight. It was a middle-aged man with a pair of black bull horns. At this moment, his gaze fell on Yi Xian and he was sizing him up. An expert. A peerless expert. He could even suppress Cui Ming, who was a fourth-stage saint, to the point that he couldn't move. He was at least a high-level saint. Or perhaps a great saint. Cui Ming and Yi Xian had never seen this horned middle-aged man before. However, Yi Xian felt a sense of déjà vu when he saw those horns. Is he a Zuyoist or a demon? Yi Xian frowned. Zuyoists had the ability to take human form. At the same time, they could also take incomplete forms, such as growing horns or covering themselves with dragon scales. However, Yi Xian felt that this horned middle-aged man's aura was somewhat similar to that of a demon. I didn't expect to find the bloodline of the world-destroying demonic dragon here. The middle-aged man slowly spoke. Yi Xian and Cui Ming were puzzled at his words. Was the world-destroying demonic dragon referring to the world-destroying black dragon? Before Yi Xian could react, the middle-aged man glared at him. In the next moment, Yi Xian actually dispelled his fusion with the world-destroying demonic dragon. This is the will of the heavens. The world-destroying demonic dragon bloodline of the demonic dragon palace and the sky-breaking divine ape bloodline of the divine monkey palace both have the same master. What a joke! The horned middle-aged man said coldly. Demonic dragon palace, world-destroying demonic dragon, divine monkey palace, sky-breaking divine ape. When these words reached Yi Xian's ears, he couldn't help but tremble. This horned middle-aged man actually recognized the sky-breaking divine ape bloodline. Who exactly was he? Boy, have they all recognized you as their master? The horned middle-aged man suddenly asked Yi Xian. Faced with this question, Yi Xian could only nod slightly and say, yes. This horned middle-aged man was too powerful. He could kill him with a snap of his fingers. It was better to keep a low profile. In that case, you'd better dispel your contract with the world-destroying demonic dragon. Don't make me do it myself, said the horned middle-aged man. What? Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. How could he possibly dispel the contract? Moreover, the horned middle-aged man recognized the sky-breaking divine ape bloodline. Why did he only ask to dispel the world-destroying demonic dragon? It seemed that the horned middle-aged man knew something, so Yi Xian asked, why? No reason. It's because his ancestor was my good friend, and now I need him. The horned middle-aged man said, as long as you're willing to dispel the contract, I'll give you an opportunity that you can't imagine. You can easily break through to the saint stage, great saint stage, or even higher. What do you think? Gulp. The one who swallowed his saliva wasn't Yi Xian, but Cui Ming. If he could easily break through to the great saint stage by giving him an opportunity, then what was the horned middle-aged man's cultivation level? I don't want any opportunity. Yi Xian rejected directly. One had to know that he had already collected all the best dragon scales, and he didn't lack any worldly treasures. Nothing could tempt him. Moreover, without the world-destroying demonic dragon, his strength would be greatly reduced. He might not even be able to defeat a first-rank saint. How could he accept that? Chapter 1913.
If that's the case, I'll do it myself,
the bull-horned middle-aged man said. Yi Xian snorted inwardly. Go ahead. I have the time reversal skill anyway. Do you think I'm afraid of you? He didn't use it because he wanted to see what the bull-horned middle-aged man would say. After all, he might know the origin of the heaven-breaking ape god. However, Yi Xian's expression froze the next moment. Two black lights flashed and entered Yi Xian and the World Devastator ghostly dragon respectively. Then, Yi Xian heard two system notifications. Ding! The World Devastator ghostly dragon has forcefully terminated its contract with the host. Ding! The host has triggered a random mission. Re-establish a contract with the World Devastator ghostly dragon. The bull-horned middle-aged man was powerful enough to forcefully terminate the contract between Yi Xian and the World Devastator ghostly dragon. However, that wasn't the main point. The main point was that Yi Xian subconsciously glanced at the time reversal skill when he heard the notification. F***CK, it can't be used? This is a tragedy. F***CK, this happened when I killed Jianghu at the Blood Flame Hall. Now it's happening again? Yi Xian's eyes widened. He had already cursed the bull-horned middle-aged man 1,000 times in his heart. If the time reversal skill couldn't be used, he wouldn't be able to return to the past. This way, the World Devastator ghostly dragon would be forcefully terminated. Before Yi Xian could speak, the World Devastator ghostly dragon shrank rapidly with a dragon's roar. Then, the bull-horned middle-aged man put it into a bag. The World Devastator ghostly dragon had disappeared. What are you doing? Return it! Yi Xian shouted. Kid, don't push it. I'm taking it away for your own good. Do you know what will happen to you if some people encounter it in the future? The bull-horned middle-aged man snorted and turned his attention to the heaven-breaking ape god. He said, This little monkey, you better be careful when you appear in the future. Otherwise you'll be killed. Killed? Kill your grandmother. Yi Xian scolded angrily. Their ancestors were all palace masters of the 12 mythical beast palaces, but they've all been sealed. I'm taking the World Devastator ghostly dragon away to undo the seal on its ancestors, the bull-horned middle-aged man said. The bull-horned middle-aged man said. However, he used voice transmission this time.
Then why did you only take it away?
Yi Xian couldn't help but ask. That smelly monkey from the Divine Monkey Palace doesn't have a good relationship with me, so why should I help it remove its seal? The bull-horned middle-aged man snorted and said, If you want, then go to the Immortal Treasure Mountain yourself. If you can help that stinky monkey escape, then you will naturally be able to find me. After he finished speaking, his figure disappeared without giving Yi Xian a chance to reply. F***CK. Yi Xian gritted his teeth and scolded. He remembered the names of the 12 Divine Beasts Palace, Celestial Treasure Mountain, Divine Monkey Palace, Demon Dragon Palace. However, at this moment, Yi Xian's expression suddenly changed. When the bull-horned middle-aged man appeared, he suppressed everyone, making them unable to move. Now that he had left and taken the World Devastator ghostly dragon with him, Yi Xian might not even be able to defeat a rank 1 saint. Keep in mind that Yi Xian couldn't use temporal reversal right now. If his avatar were to die, then it would be disastrous. However, when Yi Xian turned around in horror, he found that Cui Ming was already dead. Not only that, but the disciples of the White Dragon Palace were also the same. They were all killed by the pressure of the aura. Yi Xian couldn't help but shudder because he knew that if he didn't have the connection between the World Devastator ghostly dragon and the sky-splitting divine ape, then he would be dead as well. Long horns, huh? Wait until I find you, then I'll tear them apart. Yi Xian gritted his teeth and said. He was only this strong because of the World Devastator ghostly dragon. Now that the contract was forcefully removed, Yi Xian could no longer fuse with the World Devastator ghostly dragon, causing his strength to greatly decrease. Right now, he was a rank 7 true sovereign while the old tree and the sky-splitting divine ape were only rank 2 half-step true emperors. Their current strength was only at the true emperor realm at best. They might not even be able to beat a half-step saint. What the fuck? Yi Xian cursed again in his mind. Fortunately, the bull-horned middle-aged man had a death warrant on him. With this death pursuit order, it was still possible for Yi Xian to track down the bull-horned middle-aged man. However, strength was still the key. After all, The bull-horned middle-aged man was definitely stronger than a great saint. Screw it. I'll go back and cultivate in seclusion. Yi Xian snorted and cleaned up the battlefield before leaving the White Dragon Palace. The most important thing right now was to break through first, then track down the enemy. Soon, Yi Xian returned to the Four Directions Pavilion and told Qi Song what happened. He then asked Qi Song for help in investigating the 12 Divine Beast Palaces. Could the 12 Divine Beast Palaces be the 12 zodiac signs? Rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, chicken, dog and pig? Yi Xian suddenly thought of this when he returned to his mansion. The demonic dragon palace and the divine monkey palace corresponded to the dragon and the monkey. The bull-horned middle-aged man seemed to be an ox. Thinking about it this way, it was possible. No matter what, the most important thing is to improve my strength. Yi Xian raised an eyebrow and began cultivating in seclusion. Ding! Host has broken through to first-rank half-step true emperor. Ding! Inferno ghostly lord, Wei Zhentian, and the sky-breaking ape god have broken through to 5th-rank half-step true emperor. Somewhere in the Four Directions Pavilion, Yi Xian opened his eyes. He couldn't help but sigh when he heard the notification in his mind. This time seclusion didn't have much effect. He was just resting with his eyes closed. However, Luo Luo and Black Horn used a large amount of natural treasures and the space of 1,000 years to break through to the half-step saint realm. The supreme grade dragon scales were useless to Yi Xian, but they were still useful to Black Horn. At this time, Black Horn had transformed from a single-horned black python into a devouring black dragon. After the transformation, his devouring ability and battle strength had greatly increased. Unfortunately, he was a Xiaoyao and had signed a master-servant contract with Yi Xian, so he wasn't Yi Xian's slave. He could only be considered a hired thug. Luo Luo and Black Horn are stronger than Old Tree and Skybreaking. However, I have those undead creatures now, so they aren't weak. No, I don't have the World Destroyer Ghost Dragon, so I can't control those undead creatures. Yi Xian frowned and thought to himself. At this time, someone suddenly landed outside his courtyard and transmitted a message. Yi Xian, I've found something that you asked me to investigate. The visitor was the Four Directions Pavilion Master, Qi Song. Previously, because the Thousand Mountain Sect's team had been annihilated by Yi Xian, the Thousand Mountain Sect had no leader, so they had long since been annexed by the Four Directions Pavilion. Qi Song was very grateful to Yi Xian for this. What clues? Yi Xian immediately opened the door and asked after hearing Qi Song's words. You asked me to send people to investigate the 12 Divine Beast Palaces, Demonic Dragon Palace, and Divine Monkey Palace, but I didn't find anything. However, I did hear of a faction called Divine Monkey Palace. Qi Song replied. Chapter 1914. Divine Monkey Mansion? Yi Xian raised an eyebrow. What was the relationship between this Divine Monkey Mansion and the Divine Monkey Palace of the 12 Divine Beast Palaces? With such similar names they might be related. Where is this Divine Monkey Mansion? Yi Xian asked. Hearing this, Qi Song took out a map and handed it over to Yi Xian. This Divine Monkey Manor is much stronger than my Four Directions Pavilion. However, there are many teleportation arrays on the way. With my speed, I'll be able to reach the Divine Monkey Manor in about a year. A year? That long? Yi Xian was frightened. If it was before, he could reach the Divine Monkey Mansion quickly because he could continue to break through along the way. However, he had lost the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon and was not as strong as before. Even with Qi Song's help, it would take a long time. Looks like I have to cultivate in seclusion for a while. Yi Xian thought to himself. He was now a first-grade half-step true emperor and would probably reach the half-saint realm in 3 months. However, his speed was slower than a 9th-grade half-saint skeletal dragon. Looks like I have to break through along the way. At this thought, Yi Xian suddenly looked into the distance. There was a terrifying distance between him and the Scarlet Word. What realm was that bull-horned middle-aged man? Yi Xian immediately left the Four Direction Pavilion. However, before he left, he asked Gu Tao to transform into his true form and escort him on the way. He then cultivated on Gu Tao's back. His realm began to increase rapidly, and he soon broke through to the true emperor realm. This strength was very good, but it was not enough in this area. The further north they went, the more dangerous it was because there were saints everywhere. It was almost impossible to reach the divine monkey mansion safely. Yi Xian, there seems to be a few saint auras ahead. Should we go around? Gu Tao suddenly asked on the way. A few saint auras, huh? Hearing this, Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. Gu Tao was the Black Dragon emissary of the Black Dragon sect, Hu Feng's son. His strength was considered good in the previous area, but after traveling north for a while, he was a little weak. There were many saints here. Along the way, Yi Xian had already encountered countless waves of saints. Some of them ignored Yi Xian, while others wanted to kill Yi Xian and Gu Tao, wanting to kill them and steal their treasures. Thus, along the way, Yi Xian continuously used his time reversal skill to avoid these saints as much as possible. Let's go take a look first. Yi Xian replied. He decided to take a look each time he encountered a saint aura, because they might ignore him. If they wanted to kill him, then he could just go around time. However, it was different this time because his strength had improved a lot. As long as it wasn't a mid-level saint, it shouldn't be a problem. When Gu Tao carried Yi Xian over, he discovered that there were two saints fighting, and two saints of the first rank were on their way. However, when the two saints saw Gu Tao and Yi Xian, they looked at each other. These two wanted to kill him and steal his treasures. Whether it was in the mortal world, the immortal world, or the holy world, there were many cases of people killing others to steal their treasures. Yi Xian, they met again today. If it was before, you two wouldn't have the right to mess around in front of me. Although the world devastator ghostly dragon has been taken away, I'm not someone you two can mess with. Yi Xian's eyes flashed, and two people appeared beside him. Luo Luo and Black Horn. Luo Luo and Black Horn's realms had improved a lot while he was traveling. The former was a 6th grade half-saint, while the latter was a 7th grade half-saint. With the mystic divine armor, Yi Xian was not afraid of these two first-grade saints at all. Kill! Yi Xian ordered. Yes, boss. Luo Luo and Black Horn nodded slightly. The latter transformed into the devouring black dragon and charged toward the two first-grade saints. Although they did not speak, they both wanted the other to die. The two first-grade saints did not waste any time and attacked Black Horn. However, after Black Horn transformed, his combat power became very strong, and he had techniques that even Yi Xian was envious of. I'll devour. The devouring black dragon suddenly opened its mouth and swallowed the attacks of the two first-stage saints into its stomach. Moreover, it was unscathed. What? The two first-grade saints were shocked. Devouring attacks? Their two attacks could even kill a first-rank saint, let alone a 7th-rank half-saint like Black Horn. Their attacks had penetrated his body. You two come in. Suddenly, Black Horn's mouth opened wide again, and an invisible suction force enveloped the two first-grade saints. Then, the two were sucked in without any resistance. That was not the point. The point was that the two first-grade saints who were sucked into Black Horn's body appeared in the planting space. This was a mutation that happened after Black Horn transformed into the devouring black dragon. The space in his body was connected to the planting space. Well done, Black Horn. Yi Xian nodded satisfactorily. Now that he was in the planting space, he could do whatever he wanted. It's not even my turn to do anything, Luo Luo shrugged and said helplessly. Yi Xian grinned. He had already robbed the two first-grade saints who were sucked into the planting space. The two first-grade saints did not have much. After all, Yi Xian had even destroyed the White Dragon Palace. However, he could not make ends meet now, so Yi Xian did not think that it was too little. Next, Gu Tao brought Yi Xian along as they continued on their way. Yi Xian estimated that Black Horn's speed would surpass Gu Tao's in a few days. Then, Gu Tao could return to the square pavilion. However, on the second day of Yi Xian's journey, Yi Xian, there are a few more saints ahead. They are at least 2nd-grade saints, Gu Tao said to Yi Xian. It's fine. Let's go and take a look. Yi Xian said. 2nd-grade saints could not even withstand a single blow from Black Horn. Even 3rd-grade saints were the same. Since that was the case, why take a detour? Perhaps, the other party was here to give him benefits. However, when Yi Xian arrived, he saw two figures standing in the sky above a sect. These two figures had strange appearances. They were covered in golden hair and held two fine iron rods in their hands. They were confronting a group of saints from the sect. After seeing this scene, Yi Xian was slightly surprised. It was because the two figures looked similar to Heaven Breaker. They were completely like two large walking monkeys. I heard that the divine monkey manor is made up of monkeys who can speak human language and use rods as weapons. Could these two be from the divine monkey manor? Yi Xian narrowed his eyes as he thought to himself. He decided to wait and see. Hey, your time is up. Are you going to hand them over? If not, don't blame us for being merciless. Chapter 19:15. Sir, please give us more time. We can't gather those items in such a short period of time. The sect leader pleaded. I don't care. Since you can't gather them, I'll do it myself. The small-eyed monkey soldier said as he charged toward the sect. There were only 4 first-grade saints in the sect. They were no match for the second-grade saint monkey soldier. In the blink of an eye, the 4 saints were killed by the small-eyed monkey soldier and their Qian Kuan rings were taken away. Everyone, hand over your Qian Kuan rings obediently. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless. The small-eyed monkey soldier said coldly. Seeing that their sect leader was dead, the people in the sect did not dare to resist. They could only hand over their Qian Kuan rings. Yi Xian raised his eyebrows slightly when he saw this from afar. These 2 monkey soldiers were actually also involved in the shady business of robbing houses. However, at this moment, 3 figures suddenly appeared in the sky. Their auras were not weak. 3 second-grade saints? The small-eyed monkey soldier turned around and said, They're probably sent by the Green Rock Pavilion. Big head, if they dare to attack, kill them. Okay. The other burly monkey soldier nodded. Hey, you 2 stinking monkeys are so bold. How dare you act so recklessly in the territory of the Green Rock Pavilion? A young man shouted angrily. *T Green Rock Pavilion. From now on, this territory belongs to the Divine Monkey Manor. We're just collecting protection fees. What does it have to do with the Green Rock Pavilion? The small-eyed monkey soldier replied. Since when did this become the territory of the Divine Monkey Manor? The young man in the lead asked. It wasn't before. From today onwards, it is. The small-eyed monkey soldier said. The Divine Monkey Manor has been arrogant for a long time. Now, you dare to behave atrociously in the territory of the Green Rock Pavilion. Today, I'll clean up the mess on behalf of your manor master. The young man in the lead took out his weapon. Although they had the advantage in terms of numbers, they had heard that the monkey soldiers and monkey generals of the Divine Monkey Manor were all invincible and had outstanding combat power. Moreover, the more they fought, the stronger they became. Therefore, they did not have much chance of winning this battle. They're just 3 good-for-nothings. Big head, smash them to death. The small-eyed monkey soldier finished speaking and continued to collect the Qian Kuan rings. All right. The burly monkey soldier nodded. He gripped his iron staff tightly and swung it at the 3 Green Rock Pavilion saints. Dat! The young man in the lead yelled in fright when he sensed the extraordinariness of the rod. However, the rod still smashed a saint from the Green Rock Pavilion who was too slow to dodge into minced meat. 1 strike, insta-killing the opponent. So strong. The other 2 were so scared that they broke out in cold sweat. They were both second-rank saints, but why was the gap between them so huge? Judging from his strength, he was at least a 3rd-rank saint, right? We can't fight them head-on. Inform the senior brothers. The young man in the lead immediately transmitted his voice, and at the same time, retreated quickly. It was 3 against 1, and one of them had been killed instantly. Now that there were only 2 left, how were they supposed to fight? You think you can come and go as you please? The tall and sturdy monkey soldier said coldly. Then, it smashed down with its stick again, directly smashing the young man into pieces. At this speed, there was no time to react. As for the last one, he wouldn't have been able to escape far before being crushed to death. 3 second-stage saints were smashed to death one after another by the monkey soldiers of the same level. This strength made Yi Xian's heart palpitate. The strength of this burly monkey soldier is quite strong, but Black Horn should be able to beat him. Yi Xian thought to himself. Black Horn was already a 7th-rank half-saint. In addition, he had a special physique and had fused with countless dragon origins. Challenging someone of a higher level would be a piece of cake. Moreover, he had the help of Luoluo, a 6th-rank half-saint, and the mystic divine armor. After the 3 of them died, the small-eyed monkey soldier's gaze landed on Gu Tao. You 2, hand them over too. Otherwise you know the consequences. Indeed, Its target was Gu Tao. After all, Gu Tao was a first-rank saint.
What if I don't hand them over?
Yi Xian, who was on Gu Tao's back, suddenly said.
If you don't hand them over, then die.
Murderous intent flashed in the small-eyed monkey soldier's eyes. In the next moment, the tall and sturdy monkey soldier smashed its stick at Gu Tao.
Black Horn.
Yi Xian quickly summoned Black Horn. In his original form, Black Horn's dragon scales were extremely hard. When the stick hit Black Horn's body, it only made his huge body tremble violently. It didn't suffer any substantial damage.
What?
The small-eyed monkey soldier and the tall and sturdy monkey soldier were shocked. This stick was enough to seriously injure a third-rank saint. However, it couldn't even kill a half-saint. The tall and sturdy monkey soldier wondered if it had just casually swung the stick.
No, even a casual swing of the stick was enough to kill a saint, let alone a 7th-rank half-saint. This is impossible.
The small-eyed monkey soldier and the tall and sturdy monkey soldier couldn't believe it. A half-saint blocked the attack of a 2nd-rank saint and didn't seem to be injured. This must be a dream. Before the other party could react, Luo, wearing the mystic divine armor, had already appeared at the side and attacked the small-eyed monkey soldier. Although Luo was only a 6th-rank half-saint, after wearing the mystic divine armor, her strength increased greatly. In an instant, Luo and the small-eyed monkey soldier fought. There was a difference of 5 ranks between them, but Luo wasn't weaker than the small-eyed monkey soldier. On the other side, Black Horn was fighting with the tall and sturdy monkey soldier. He was also not at a disadvantage. Not bad, not bad. My strength has finally recovered to its previous level. After seeing this scene, Yi Xian couldn't help but nod. Previously, when the world destroyer ghostly dragon was forcibly taken away by the bull-horned middle-aged man, his strength had decreased greatly. Now, he had finally recovered. However, this was not all of his trump cards. Don't fight with these two people. Kill them directly. Yi Xian immediately gave the order to the two people. In the next moment, Wei Zhentian directly transformed into the myriad beasts diagram. If Yi Xian was not wrong, these two monkey soldiers should be saint beasts. They only knew how to speak. As expected, once the myriad beasts diagram appeared, the small-eyed monkey soldier and the tall and sturdy monkey soldier's strength decreased by 70%. What? The two monkey soldiers were shocked. Why did their strength suddenly decrease by so much? Just now they could still fight one-on-one, but now that their strength decreased, how could they fight? Immediately, the small-eyed monkey soldier retreated rapidly. However, what he didn't know was that without the mystic divine armor, Luolua's strength decreased by more than 70%. Bang! On the other side, after the tall and sturdy monkey soldier's strength decreased by 70%, he was directly hit by Blackhorn's horn and died on the spot. Ding! Host's killing intent has increased. A system notification sounded in Yi Xian's mind. At the same time, the small-eyed monkey soldier's expression changed greatly. The tall and sturdy monkey soldier, who was stronger than him, died. He probably wouldn't end up like this. Chapter 1916. I don't care who you are. Dang. Yi Xian's eyes flashed as he gave the order. In the next moment, Black Horn turned into a black ray of light and pierced through the small-eyed monkey soldier's chest with his horn. Dead. 2 second-grade saints had fallen just like that.
Good, well done.
After they died, Yi Xian couldn't help but praise them. Then he quickly kept the 2 monkey soldiers' corpses.
Wei Zhentian's soul search.
Yi Xian gave the order again. After a while, these 2 monkey soldiers are indeed from the Divine Monkey Manor. They were ordered by the Divine Monkey Manor's Manor Lord to expand their territory. Yi Xian thought to himself. These 2 monkey soldiers had already plundered a lot of resources before they met them. Hence they were quite valuable. However, what attracted Yi Xian's attention was that these 2 monkey soldiers each had a piece of life monkey fur. Yi Xian quickly found them. Then, he looked at the 2 pieces of life monkey fur and thought to himself, monkey soldiers who can condense life monkey fur have good aptitude. This Divine Monkey Manor might be related to the Divine Monkey Palace. The palace master of the Divine Monkey Palace is Potion's ancestor. If I give these 2 pieces of life monkey fur to Patian, there might be some effect. Then, he threw the 2 pieces of life monkey fur to Patian. Patian received the 2 pieces of life monkey fur and played with them carefully. In the end, What surprised Yi Xian was that these 2 pieces of life monkey fur were refined by Patian and grew on his body. Patian, you've become stronger? Yi Xian raised his eyebrows. Creak. Heavenbreaker nodded. These 2 life monkey hairs had increased his strength by more than a fold. It was a pity that Potion's realm was too low. Even if he doubled his strength and wore the mystic divine armor, he probably wouldn't be able to defeat Luo Luo. Not bad, not bad. If I had more life monkey fur, Patian might be able to be like the world destroyer ghost dragon. Thinking of this, Yi Xian's eyes lit up. However, there was a fundamental difference between Patian and the world destroyer ghost dragon. That was fusion. Yi Xian could fuse with the world destroyer ghostly dragon, and he could only do so. Therefore, no matter how strong Heavenbreaker was, he was no match for the world destroyer ghostly dragon. In the future, I'll definitely be able to fuse with them again. I just don't know how to do it. Could it be that I'm going to get a random mission reward? Yi Xian narrowed his eyes slightly. He decided not to think about it anymore and continued on his way. From the 2 monkey soldiers, it could be seen that the divine monkey Manor's Manor Lord was very ambitious and wanted to expand his territory. His strength was indeed very strong, but if he did so, it would only incur the dissatisfaction of the surrounding forces. After all, there were still a few forces with similar strength as the divine monkey Manor. However, this was a good thing for Yi Xian. After all, he needed some innate monkey hairs to strengthen his sky-breaking divine ape. What Yi Xian did not expect was that the sky-breaking ape god could sense the position of the monkey soldiers. This was great news for Yi Xian. Previously, the World Destroyer Ghost Dragon could sense the aura of the World Destroyer Dragon Scale. Now, the sky-breaking ape god could sense the aura of the surrounding monkey soldiers. With the help of Heavenbreaker, Yi Xian quickly moved towards the monkey soldiers. The monkey soldiers sent by the divine monkey Manor's Manor Lord were at least at the saint level. However, given Yi Xian's current situation, it would be best for him to deal with the monkey soldiers at the saint level. Within a few days, Yi Xian had obtained more than 10 innate monkey hairs. As for the monkey soldiers, some were killed, some were suppressed, and some were swallowed into Blackhorn's stomach. In other words, they were kept in the planting space. Heavenbreaker's strength began to increase rapidly. Yi Xian had no way of tracking down the bull-horned middle-aged man. The distance between him and Yi Xian was as far as a human looking at the sun. Right now, he had to focus on increasing his strength. Ding! Host has broken through. Currently a 3rd grade true emperor. Ding! Infernal ghostly lord, Wei Zhentian, sky-breaking divine ape have broken through. Currently a 7th grade true emperor. Currently, Old Tree's strength couldn't keep up with the pace. Only the sky-breaking divine ape could. With its strength, it would reach the half-saint level if it wore the 3rd grade profound divine armor. However, there were still 2 generals above it, Luo Luo and Black Horn. If it wanted to surpass them, it would need a lot of innate monkey hairs. The reason why the monkey soldiers of the divine monkey manor were stronger than the human geniuses was because of their innate monkey hairs. Moreover, each monkey soldier had more than 1 hairs. The more hairs they had, the better their aptitude. Yi Xian had encountered a powerful monkey soldier with 3 innate monkey hairs. At that time, with the suppression of the myriad beasts diagram, he was able to fight evenly with Black Horn. His strength was quite good. However, in the end, he couldn't defeat Yi Xian and was killed on the spot. At this rate, Heavenbreaker's strength will be able to catch up with Luo Luo and Black Horn in a month's time. Yi Xian nodded satisfactorily. After all, the Heavenbreaker ape god was only a 7th grade true emperor, while Luo Luo was a 7th grade half-saint. The difference between the 2 was an entire realm. However, as Yi Xian was hurrying along, a powerful aura suddenly chased after him. Heavenbreaker sensed that it was at least a 4th grade saint. If it was before, Yi Xian might have been afraid. However, now that Black Horn had broken through to the 8th grade half-saint, as long as it wasn't a 5th grade saint, everything would be fine. Soon, the monkey soldier arrived in front of Yi Xian. He then looked at the mini Heavenbreaker and raised his eyebrows. A mere true emperor actually has more than 10 innate monkey hairs? How is this possible? The monkey soldier was frightened. He was too far away just now, so he suspected that his senses were wrong. Now that he was here, he was sure that his senses were correct. He wasn't even a half-saint yet, but he had already condensed more than 10 innate monkey hairs. His aptitude was too strong.
My lord, may I know your name?
The monkey soldier couldn't help but ask. Name? Heavenbreaker, who was standing on Gu Tao's back, couldn't help but look at Yi Xian. Just say that your name is Sun Patian. Yi Xian hurriedly transmitted his voice to Heavenbreaker. The Heavenbreaker ape god originally didn't have a name. Back then, the people of Dragonfield called it Little Monkey. After being tamed by Yi Xian, he was given the name Heavenbreaker. However, the bull-horned middle-aged man had mentioned the Heavenbreaker ape god's bloodline, so Yi Xian quickly added the name Sun. In Yi Xian's memories, whenever a monkey was mentioned, he would think of a classic character. Adding the name Sun was very appropriate. Squeak! Heavenbreaker opened his mouth. Ordinary people wouldn't understand these words, but the monkey soldier in front of Heavenbreaker did. What? His surname is Sun? This 5th stage saint-level monkey soldier was extremely shocked. Chapter 1917. Strange, why can't Lord Sun speak the human language? The monkey soldier frowned, but didn't think too much about it.
Lord Sun, let me follow you.
Follow? Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. Having a 5th-rank saint as a fighter wasn't a bad idea. After all, this 5th-rank saint also had 3 vital monkey hairs. After receiving Yi Xian's approval, Heavenbreaker nodded in agreement.
Thank you, Lord Sun.
This 5th-grade saint-level monkey soldier was already grinning from ear to ear. Yi Xian suddenly took a step forward and said, "Let me introduce myself. I am Yi Xian, Lord Sun's servant. Since you are following Lord Sun, there will be many benefits in the future." Yes. The monkey soldier quickly nodded. In terms of cultivation, Yi Xian was 4 levels lower than Heavenbreaker. Moreover, he was still a human. Thus, the monkey soldier believed that Yi Xian was deeply trusted by Heavenbreaker. As a follower, he didn't dare to underestimate Yi Xian. Without waiting for the monkey soldier to speak, Yi Xian continued, "Since you are following Lord Sun, take one of your vital monkey hairs and give it to Lord Sun." What? The monkey soldier raised an eyebrow. It took him a lot of effort to refine these 3 vital monkey hairs. Taking one out now would cause him great heartache. Moreover, he was the one who refined them, so it was useless to give them to others. What did Lord Sun want these hairs for? Don't ask too many questions. Lord Sun's abilities aren't something you can guess. If you want to follow Lord Sun, do as he says and you will know what to do next. Yi Xian reminded him. The monkey soldier hesitated after hearing this. Being able to refine more than 10 vital monkey hairs at the true emperor level couldn't be faked. Moreover, Heavenbreaker's surname was Sun, so he must be a big shot in the divine monkey mansion. Although he was a 5th-rank saint, he was still at the bottom of the hierarchy. If he could hug a big thigh now, his future would be boundless. After thinking about it for a while, the monkey soldier decided to do as he was told. It reluctantly plucked a strand of monkey fur from its body and tossed it to Heavenbreaker. Heavenbreaker grasped the strand of fur in his hand and absorbed it. This scene caused the monkey soldier to be extremely shocked. Lord Sun can actually absorb the life-bound monkey fur of others. Isn't this too heaven-defying? The monkey soldier's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. This was the first time he had heard of such a thing. He reckoned that this Lord Sun before him was most likely related to the Manor Head. Perhaps, he might even be the Manor Head's disciple. With this kind of ability, he would definitely surpass the Manor Head in the future. God, what a great deal! From today onwards, I, Hobai, will follow Lord Sun's lead and be at your disposal. The monkey soldier cupped his fists and said. When he said this, Yi Xian almost laughed himself to death. Hopai Jing. What a good name.
Good, very good.
Yi Xian nodded in satisfaction and said, "Next, gather the other monkey soldiers around you and call them over. Remember, Lord Sun sneaked out this time, so don't speak carelessly." Yes. Hobai Jing hurriedly nodded. Next, Yi Xian found a place to rest and prepare for seclusion. As for Hobai Jing, he began to gather the monkey soldiers nearby and asked them to come over quickly. In less than 3 days, more than 10 monkey soldiers were gathered. Most of them were low-level saints, and only 2 were mid-level saints. For these people, Yi Xian also took a strand of monkey fur from each of them. TSK. If we gather more people, we will become a strong force. Yi Xian grinned. These people all thought that Heavenbreaker was related to the manor head of the divine monkey manor, and that his surname was Sun, so they all hugged his thigh. In this way, Yi Xian had a group of super strong reinforcements. Let's go and grab more cultivation resources. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and ordered his subordinates to form groups of 3 and loot the sect. In addition, he also asked them to keep gathering monkey soldiers around so that they could worship Heavenbreaker. 10 people, 20 people, 30 people. Heavenbreaker's followers were increasing. There were already more than 5 mid-level saints, and one of them was a 6th-level saint. This strength was already very good. While these followers were looting, Yi Xian's cultivation level increased again. At this time, Yi Xian was already a 6th-level true emperor, and as for Heavenbreaker, he had already broken through to the 1st level of the half-saint realm. As a 1st-level half-saint, his combat strength was not inferior to a 3rd-level saint. If he wore the mystic divine armor, his strength would be close to that of a high-level saint. However, just as they were enjoying the fruits of Heavenbreaker's work, someone suddenly transmitted a message to Yi Xian. Lord Yi Xian, this is bad. The Green Rock Pavilion has organized a large group of people and is chasing after us. This voice belonged to Heavenbreaker's first follower, Hou Baijing. I'll be there soon. Yi Xian immediately replied. After all, Hou Baijing was Heavenbreaker's first follower, so he naturally had to take care of him. Immediately, Yi Xian led the experts to rescue Hou Baijing. Coincidentally, Yi Xian had marked the area where Hou Baijing was. Whoosh! The void door opened, and Yi Xian went in. Not far ahead, there was Hou Baijing and the other monkey soldiers. Behind them, there was a group of mid-level saints. Go, don't leave a single one alive. Yi Xian immediately ordered. In the next moment, the 6th-level saint beside him and 2 5th-level saints directly attacked. Among the pursuers from the Green Rock Pavilion, there were 2 6th-level saints, and more than 10 5th-level and 4th-level saints. However, Yi Xian was not afraid at all. Black Horn, Heavenbreaker, the 2 of you go as well. Yi Xian ordered the 2 of them. Okay. Black Horn responded and directly transformed into his true form to attack. When the experts from the Green Rock Pavilion saw that reinforcements had arrived, they immediately formed a formation. Immediately, the 2 sides began to fight. Rumble! A series of loud sounds rang out continuously. The battle was very intense. Yi Xian was currently unable to participate in a battle of this level. After all, he was only a true emperor, not a half-saint. However, the heaven-breaking divine ape with the mystic divine armor on was very strong. Heaven-startling 36 rod strikes. The heaven-breaking divine ape with the mystic divine armor aimed at a 6th-level saint and attacked with all his might. It's the Prefecture Lord's heaven-startling 36 rod strikes. Lord Sun must be the Prefecture Lord's disciple. Otherwise, how could he have learned the heaven-startling 36 rod strikes? That's too powerful. He sent the opponent flying with 1 strike. Lord Sun has only become a half-saint recently. That group of monkey soldiers was extremely shocked. Heaven-breaking's talent, surname, and the heaven-startling 36 rod strikes convinced the monkey soldiers that he was a close relative of the divine monkey manor's Prefecture Lord. Chapter 1918. There were quite a few people with the surname Sun in the divine monkey manor, but none of them were close to Heavenbreaker, let alone the divine monkey manor's manor lord, who had only mastered the 36 staff strikes of the heavens. With Heavenbreaker joining the battle, the group of experts from the Green Rock Pavilion was utterly defeated. Some died, while others fled. In the end they were all killed. A complete victory. That's amazing. Lord Sun is awesome. Following Lord Sun will definitely lead to success. Keep a low profile. We must keep a low profile. Don't let the Green Rock Pavilion discover us. Otherwise, they will definitely send experts to kill Lord Sun. What are you afraid of? When they come, Lord Sun's strength will definitely rise to another level. Whoever comes will die. The monkey soldiers were full of fighting spirit. They were all flattering Heavenbreaker. As Heavenbreaker's servant, Yi Xian quickly collected the corpses of the experts from the Green Rock Pavilion. TSK, TSK, TSK. What a huge haul. With such an army of monkeys, we can definitely sweep the surrounding forces. Yi Xian was overjoyed. At first, he only killed 2 monkey soldiers. He didn't expect to have so many monkey soldiers following him. It was unbelievable.
However, just as he was about to leave, what a powerful aura!
Lord Sun is a high-grade saint. The 6th grade saint couldn't help but exclaim. 7th, 8th, and 9th grade were all high-grade saints. Therefore, it was at least a 7th grade saint. If it was a 7th grade saint, they could still fight. However, if it was an 8th grade saint, things would be troublesome. Yi Xian quickly collected the unrelated people. After all, they couldn't participate in a battle of this level. Soon that aura approached them. A 7th grade saint? No, an 8th grade saint. An 8th grade saint? I'll fight with him first and see Heavenbreaker's current strength. Yi Xian thought to himself. Heavenbreaker's current strength was infinitely close to a 7th grade saint. However, he hadn't fought with his full strength yet. This 8th grade saint was a good punching bag. Even if he couldn't win, Yi Xian could use time reversal and come to rescue Yuan Pijing earlier. This 8th grade saint was dressed casually, so he was obviously a member of the Green Rock Pavilion. He glanced at Yi Xian and the others before his gaze finally landed on Patian. Although Heavenbreaker was only a first-stage half-saint, he could sense many life-bound monkey hairs on his body. Damned divine monkey mana, you're courting death. The 8th stage saint didn't say anything and immediately launched an attack on Heaven Crushing. Bang! With just one strike, Heavenbreaker was sent flying. At the same time, the mystic divine battle armor that Wei Zhentian had transformed into shattered. Fortunately, Heavenbreaker's true form was a Heavenbreaker divine stone, and his defensive power was strong, so he only suffered a small injury. Don't forget, Yi Xian shared the immortal divine phoenix bloodline with all of his subordinates. This gave Heavenbreaker extremely powerful regenerative abilities. Not dead. The 8th grade saint was astonished. His attack was powerful enough to kill even a 7th stage saint, yet it was only able to injure Heavenbreaker. Moreover, Heavenbreaker had immediately recovered. This little monkey was not simple. Kill! The 8th stage saint prepared to attack with all his might. Lord Yi Xian, what should we do? The 6th stage saint could not help but look at Yi Xian. Don't worry, Lord Sun still has a big move that he hasn't used yet. Yi Xian said with a smile. Big move? How could he have one? Heavenbreaker had always only had one move, and that was the Heaven Startling Staff technique. The big move he was referring to was his time reversal technique. Hearing this, the 6th stage Saint Monkey Soldier also heaved a sigh of relief. Boom! Crack! A crisp sound could be heard from afar. Yi Xian could not help but sigh as he watched this battle. This was because if the World Destroyer Ghostly Dragon had not been forcibly taken away, it would definitely be able to kill the 8th stage saint easily. What a pity! In the distance, the 8th stage saint from the Green Rock Pavilion could not help but frown when he saw how difficult Heavenbreaker was to deal with. A first stage half-saint could actually block his attack and not die. What would happen if he grew up? Therefore, he had to kill Heavenbreaker today. However, although Heavenbreaker was constantly being beaten up, his expression was not that serious because he could sense an aura rapidly approaching him. This aura also had a lot of life monkey fur on its body. It was a saint from the Divine Monkey Manor. Very soon, this aura was also sensed by the rank 6 Saint Monkey Soldier. This aura is great. It must be Monkey Jiang. The Monkey Soldier's eyes lit up. The Monkey Jiang of the Divine Monkey Manor was at least a saint. As long as a 7th stage saint came, it would be enough to deal with the 8th stage saint from the Green Rock Pavilion. Soon, a figure entered everyone's sight. Oh no, it's Monkey Jiang from the Divine Monkey Manor. The 8th stage saint from the Green Rock Pavilion turned to look, and his expression changed drastically. What's going on? Monkey Jiang, who had just arrived, turned to look at the 6th stage Saint Monkey Soldier. We're being chased. Lord Sun is helping us. The Monkey Soldier explained. Lord Sun? Monkey Jiang was slightly surprised when he heard this. He carefully sensed Heavenbreaker and realized that he was only a first-stage half-saint. His aptitude was heaven-defying. Who is this Lord Sun? Monkey Jiang couldn't help but ask. I'm not sure. Lord Sun is called Sun Patian. He snuck out of the Divine Monkey Manor. The Monkey Soldier shook his head. In the Divine Monkey Manor, every Monkey Jiang was given the surname Sun. However, this surname couldn't be inherited. Only the descendants of the Monkey Jiang couldn't bear the surname Sun before they became a Monkey Jiang. Other than the monkey Jiang, only the 4 great sages and the manor lord's family were qualified to bear the surname Sun. There were only so many monkey generals, and he had some impression of them. However, he had never heard of Sun Patian. It seemed like he was the descendant of the 4 great sages or the manor lord. At the thought of this, Monkey Jiang took out his weapon and shouted, "Lord Sun, I'm here to help you." There wasn't a second person with Heavenbreaker's aptitude in the divine monkey manor. Therefore, Monkey Jiang thought that Heavenbreaker was secretly nurtured by the divine monkey manor. If anything happened to him, all the monkey generals wouldn't be able to pay for it. With the addition of Monkey Jiang, the 8th stage saint from the Green Rock Pavilion's face sank. He quickly retreated. Squeak! When Heavenbreaker saw that someone had come to his rescue, he couldn't be bothered to attack. He shouted and Megatron instantly disintegrated. Kacha! The mystic divine battle armor was put on the 7th grade saint level monkey general. After wearing the mystic divine armor, the 7th stage saint's strength increased tremendously. His attack speed also increased significantly. Bam! The rod shadow landed on the 8th stage saint from the Green Rock Pavilion and turned him into minced meat in an instant. Instant kill. So strong. Monkey Jiang couldn't believe that he had killed an 8th stage saint from the Green Rock Pavilion in a single strike.
He knew that it must have been the work of Lord Sun's armor.
After the 8th grade saint from the Green Rock Pavilion died, Heavenbreaker quickly rushed over and threw the corpse to Xian. After that, Xian put it away without the slightest trace of politeness. Greetings, my lord. Chapter 1919. Squeak? What's your name? Heavenbreaker exclaimed. Sun Lei, a monkey general under the scorching sun sage. The monkey general introduced himself. Xian had searched the souls of 2 monkey soldiers before, so he knew that there were 4 great sages and 1 prefecture master in the divine monkey prefecture. The scorching sun sage was one of the great sages, so there was no need to elaborate on his cultivation level. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Heavenbreaker continued. This was what Xian wanted him to say. He wanted the monkey general not to tell the higher-ups about him, or else... Yes, I understand. Sun Lei nodded hurriedly. I'm willing to follow you, my lord. Squeak. Heavenbreaker nodded satisfactorily. Just like that, Xian had another superfighter in his team. With him around, Xian could do whatever he wanted as long as he did not meet any great sage-level experts. After all, he still had the mystic divine armor. However, things were not that simple. Sun Lei said that he would not tell the higher-ups, but he felt that Heavenbreaker's status was too honorable to let anything happen to him. Therefore, he risked Heavenbreaker's punishment and secretly sent a message to the higher-ups.
However, what surprised him was, when the Scorching Sun Sage found out, he reported this to the prefecture master of the Divine Monkey Prefecture. However, the prefecture master said that there was no such person as Sun Patian. There was no name, and there was no first-stage half-saint super genius who could condense dozens of vital monkey hairs. Sun Patian was not from the Divine Monkey Prefecture. As Sun Lei's cultivation level was high, Xian did not notice. When Sun Lei found out about this, he was so shocked that he could not speak. He looked at the heaven-breaking ape god wearing the mystic divine armor and hesitated. Just now, the scorching sun sage had sent him a message asking him to capture the heaven-breaking ape god and bring it back to the Divine Monkey Prefecture. What made him hesitate was that Heavenbreaker had broken through to the 2nd stage half-saint at this time. A 1st stage half-saint like Heavenbreaker had killed a 6th stage saint and could fight a 7th stage saint head-on. Even the prefecture master of the Divine Monkey Prefecture was amazed by this talent. Therefore, Sun Lei was not confident that he could capture Heavenbreaker, so he secretly contacted the 2 monkey generals nearby. Lord Sun, I found 2 more monkey generals. They're on their way. Sun Lei suddenly stepped forward and said respectfully. Squeak. Well done. Heavenbreaker grinned and jumped onto Sun Lei's shoulder. Soon, the 2 monkey generals arrived. They were both 7th grade monkey generals and had condensed more than 15 strands of life-bound monkey fur. They were very powerful, comparable to 8th grade saints of the Green Rock Pavilion. Greetings, Lord Sun. The 2 monkey generals respectfully said. However, they had already learned of this matter. Thus, they wanted to first worm their way into becoming friends with Sun Lei, and then join forces with him to capture Patian. Since nothing had happened before, Xian did not think too much about it and accepted the 2 of them. While he was still rejoicing over the addition of 2 more generals, Sun Lei and the 2 monkey generals who had just joined suddenly surrounded Heavenbreaker.
What are you doing? Yi Xian could not help but ask. He was only a true emperor, so they didn't give a damn about him. The 3 immediately attacked. What? Heavenbreaker was also shocked. He didn't expect that Sun Lei and these 2 would collude to capture him. No way. In an instant, Heavenbreaker unleashed a powerful force. However, his strongest move was the heaven-startling 36 staves. Now that he was restrained, he could not attack. TCH, what are you doing? Heavenbreaker asked in surprise. When Sun Lei heard that, he replied, My apologies, Lord Sunday. The prefecture lord has asked you to return. The prefecture lord. When this word entered Yi Xian and Heavenbreaker's ears, they understood that the matter had been exposed. How could they know the divine monkey prefecture lord? It seems that someone secretly reported to the prefecture lord. It should be Sun Lei. Yi Xian immediately reacted. He had been fine before, but after Sun Lei arrived, something unexpected happened. Of course, it was also possible that someone else had reported to the prefecture lord. Sun Lei and the other 2 monkey generals had secretly infiltrated the prefecture lord. No matter what, the matter had been exposed. Even if Heavenbreaker was a 2nd-grade half-saint, he was no match for 3 7th-grade saints, let alone now that he was restrained. Although Yi Xian could directly put Heavenbreaker away and escape, these 3 monkey generals each had more than 10 strands of life-bound monkey fur. How could he let them go so easily? Time reversal. With no other choice, Yi Xian used time reversal and returned to the day before he met Sun Lei. Today, Monkey Beijing had not encountered the experts of the Green Rock Pavilion, so it was enough time for him to use time reversal. Next, the same thing will happen again. At that time, I can't let Sun Lei report to the prefecture lord. I must send him into the prefecture lord's space. Yi Xian thought to himself. He wondered if Sun Lei already knew about it when he met him. If he didn't, then it meant that Sun Lei had reported to the Divine Monkey Prefecture. At that time, Sun Lei should listen to Heavenbreaker. As long as he entered the prefecture lord's space, Yi Xian would be able to restrain him and lure out the other 2 monkey generals. Of course, if Sun Lei already knew that Heavenbreaker was a fake when he met Heavenbreaker, then they would have to fight directly. No matter what, Yi Xian wanted to test this situation first. He wanted to see if Sun Lei already knew that Heavenbreaker was a fake when he met Heavenbreaker. Lord Yi Xian, bad news. The Green Rock Pavilion has organized a large group of people and is chasing after us. News came from Ho Pijing. Before this, Yi Xian had already asked Wei Zhentian to search the souls of all the monkey soldiers in the prefecture lord's space. These people all obeyed his orders and did not report this matter. At that moment, Yi Xian once again broke through the void and killed all of the pursuers from the Green Rock Pavilion. Then, the 8th-grade saint from the Green Rock Pavilion arrived and gave Heavenbreaker a beating. Then, Sun Lei appeared and killed the 8th-grade saint instantly with the help of the mystic divine armor. Squeak, squeak, squeak. I think you're not bad. Be my follower. Heavenbreaker said to Sun Lei. Sun Lei's eyes lit up as he hurriedly cupped his fists and said, I'm willing to do anything for you, Lord Sun. Squeak, squeak, squeak. If that's the case, then don't resist. As Heavenbreaker spoke, a wave of energy enveloped Sun Lei. When Sun Lei saw this, he resisted at first but gave up in the end. The next moment, he appeared in the prefecture lord's space. Here, even if he was a 7th-grade saint, he was still at the mercy of Yi Xian. At this moment, Yi Xian had already taken Ho Pijing and the others in and began to search their souls one by one. However, he found nothing. Nothing. It seems like Sun Lei reported it later. Yi Xian thought to himself. My lord, what is this place? Sun Lei asked curiously. Chapter 1920. In the next instant, Sun Lei was shocked. Heavenbreaker had refined all the intrinsic monkey hairs, and his aura had increased tremendously. Lord Sun Yu. Sun Lei looked at Heavenbreaker in astonishment. It was the first time he had heard of refining other people's intrinsic monkey hairs. What's so strange about that? Lord Sun is extremely talented. How can you understand him? Yi Xian snorted and said, Next, find the monkey generals nearby and gather them here. You will be rewarded handsomely in the future. Sun Lei hesitated. If Lord Sun could continuously refine other people's intrinsic monkey hairs, his strength would easily surpass the prefecture masters. At that time, the divine monkey prefecture would become even more powerful.
Yes.
Sun Lei nodded.
Then, Yi Xian let him out and looked at the monkey generals around him.
You have done well. Follow Lord Sun and you will become a great sage in the future, Yi Xian said with satisfaction.
Yes.
Sun Lei said respectfully. Indeed, he felt that way too. After refining those intrinsic monkey hairs, Lord Sun's aura had increased tremendously. When he broke through to the saint level, he would be able to fight against a great sage. Which was more difficult to break through, from the half-saint level to the saint level, or from the saint level to the great sage level? Naturally, it was the saint level to the great sage level. There was no doubt about that. Very quickly, the two monkey generals arrived. Then, Yi Xian took the two of them and fused with his life monkey fur once again. The three monkey generals' intrinsic monkey hairs were all refined by Heaven Breaker. Their strength was greatly reduced, and they probably could not challenge those of a higher level. However, after wearing the mystic god armor, Heaven Breaker's strength increased by another level. Back then, he had killed a 6th-stage saint as a 1st-stage half-saint and then took the attack of an 8th-stage saint head-on. Now that he had broken through to the 2nd-stage half-saint and refined so many intrinsic monkey hairs, he should be able to defeat an 8th-stage saint. Very good. Continue. Remember, do not tell the 4 great sages and the prefecture master. Otherwise, Lord Sun will be enraged and may even kill you, Yi Xian said to the 3 7th-grade saint-level monkey generals. Next, like before, they continued to expand their group and continued to collect more life-bound monkey fur. However, just as he expanded his team to 5 monkey generals, he suddenly received a message. Yi Xian took out the communication crystal in his hand and his expression changed drastically. The divine monkey manor is under attack from 3 major powers. Quickly return and provide support. This was the message that the great sage of the burning sun transmitted to all the monkey generals and monkey soldiers. The divine monkey manor was besieged. How unfortunate. If we wait a little longer, not to mention the 3 great forces, even the 10 great forces wouldn't be able to stop Patian. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes slightly. Yi Xian reckoned that the divine monkey manor was related to the divine monkey palace of the 12 divine beast palaces. If it was destroyed, it would not be good. Right now he had 2 plans. The first option was to head to the divine monkey manor to provide support. Along the way, Patian should be able to break through to the 3rd stage half-saint. At that time, he would be considered an invincible existence under the great sage realm. The second was to attack the Green Rock Pavilion directly. The Green Rock Pavilion was one of the 3 great forces. If there was a fire at their rear, they might retreat and provide support. Since I have the time reversal skill, I'll go to the divine monkey manor first to check out the situation. If it doesn't work out, I'll think about it. Yi Xian thought to himself and immediately ordered a monkey general to bring him to the divine monkey manor. As for the black dragon Saint Gu Tao, Yi Xian had already ordered a mid-level saint to escort him back to the 4 Directions Pavilion. Divine monkey manor. Hang in there. Don't be destroyed before I arrive, Yi Xian thought to himself. After a few days, he finally entered the territory of the divine monkey manor. At this time, he was already a 9th-grade true emperor and was only a step away from becoming a half-saint. At the same time, the godly ape had also broken through to the 4th-grade half-saint and could be said to be invincible under the great saint realm. A few days ago, the great sage of the burning sun sent a message to the monkey generals and monkey soldiers outside to quickly return to the divine monkey manor. On the way, Yi Xian met many of them who were willing to join Potion's team. Potion's strength also increased by a lot. At this time, there were experts from the Green Rock Pavilion, the Extreme Upper City and the Long Rainbow Sect in the territory of the Divine Monkey Manor. As soon as Yi Xian entered the territory of the Divine Monkey Manor, he was blocked by many people. Among these people, there were also high-level saints, but these people were nothing in front of Yi Xian. Yi Xian overcame all the obstacles and finally arrived at the vicinity of the Divine Monkey Manor. At this time, the Divine Monkey Manor was surrounded by the 3 great forces. Countless monkey soldiers and monkey generals were guarding the place and facing each other. Smelly monkey, I think you should just surrender, lest we start a massacre, a green-robed elder said. He was the pavilion master of the Green Rock Pavilion, a 2nd-grade great saint. Smelly monkey, You're too ambitious. Don't think that you can do whatever you want because you're strong, the sect master of the Long Rainbow sect said. That's right. Although the three of us are not as strong as you, it's not that easy to deal with us if we join forces. If we really fight, we'll definitely suffer heavy losses. Why don't we make peace? The city master of the extreme upper city said. These words fell into the ears of an armored monkey in the Divine Monkey Manor, but it was a little funny. The soldiers of the Divine Monkey Manor are born to fight. If you want to fight, let's fight. Why talk so much nonsense? The Divine Monkey Manor master snorted coldly. He was already prepared to fight to the death. If they really fought, he was 80% confident that he could kill the leaders of the three great forces, but he was afraid that his monkey soldiers and monkey generals would suffer heavy losses. This was not something he wanted to see. Therefore, both sides were in a stalemate. Xianxia, who was far away, observed the current situation and felt that the Divine Monkey Manor was under a lot of pressure. Even if he joined in, he might not be able to turn the situation around. After all, the humans had a huge advantage in terms of numbers. Therefore, he hesitated. However, he did not directly use the time reversal to attack the Green Rock Pavilion's nest, because both sides might continue to be in a stalemate. As long as the sky-breaking ape god broke through again, he was confident that he could turn the situation around. It just depended on when both sides would fight. In the next few days, the three great forces of the Green Rock Pavilion kept pressuring the Divine Monkey Manor. However, the monkey soldiers and monkey generals of the Divine Monkey Manor stood their ground, because they still had a plan. As long as the monkey soldiers and monkey generals returned, their combat strength would at least double. At that time, their chances of winning would be greatly increased. It was not certain who would win and who would lose. However, on the third day after Xianxia arrived, "We're not waiting anymore. Since this smelly monkey is not willing to compromise, then let's do it," the Green Rock Pavilion master said. Chapter 1921. Hearing this, the city lord nodded slightly and said, "Since both of you have made up your mind, I will do my best to help you. But don't forget our agreement when the time comes." The agreement was that after the Divine Monkey Mansion was annihilated, the three parties would share the spoils equally. In the Divine Monkey Mansion, the lord of the Divine Monkey Mansion immediately roared when he saw the killing intent of the three great sovereigns. The great battle was coming. It's still too slow. Xianxia shook his head helplessly. But he still wanted to join the battle. Who knows, there might be a miracle. Just as he was thinking about it, the Lord of Green Rock Pavilion gave the order. Attack! Kill! The experts of Green Rock Pavilion, Long Rainbow Sect, and Extreme Upper City immediately surrounded the Divine Monkey Mansion. The storm was finally coming. The Lord of the Divine Monkey Mansion held the long rod in his hand tightly, aiming at the three second-grade Great Saints and launched an attack. Although the four of them were second-grade Great Saints, the Lord of the Divine Monkey Mansion had condensed many natal monkey hairs, which gave him superior combat strength. He had no problem fighting three of them alone. Boom! 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 In the blink of an eye, the four of them began to fight fiercely. As for Xianxia, who was hiding in the distance, no one noticed him because he was alone. After all, he was not even a half-saint. "All right, Patian, make your move." Xianxia summoned the Divine Ape. Patian, who was wearing the profound divine armor, had reached his peak combat strength. Kill! At this moment, Xianxia was helping the Divine Monkey Mansion, so the myriad beasts diagram was useless. If he was helping the Green Rock Pavilion, Long Rainbow Sect, and Extreme Upper City, the Divine Monkey Mansion would definitely be annihilated. The fourth-grade half-saint little monkey turned into a ray of light and rushed into the crowd of Green Rock Pavilion. Heaven-startling 36-rod strikes. Patian only knew this move, so he could only use this move. With a strike of the rod, it turned into 36-rod shadows and killed a large number of experts of Green Rock Pavilion. However, its appearance had attracted the attention of the other great saints of Green Rock Pavilion. "You still have a trump card? You're courting death." One of the great sages from the Green Rock Pavilion noticed Heavenbreaker, and immediately rushed over to fight him. Patian was considered to be invincible under the Great Saint realm. The Divine Monkey Manor's Manor Lord was also watching this battle. After all, it was unbelievable that Heavenbreaker had over 100 fundamental monkey hairs on his body. Xianxia couldn't help but exclaim, "Oh my! Is this the transformation of a scion after seeing the moon?" After the transformation, the the divine monkey manor's strength increased sharply and easily suppressed the 3 Green Rock Pavilion masters. However, the Green Rock Pavilion, Long Rainbow Sect, and Zenith City had more than 10 great saint experts besides the 3 leaders. They had the advantage in terms of numbers. Even if the divine monkey manor was good at fighting, it was useless. Yi Xian was only here to check the situation. If the divine monkey manor won this battle, he might not need to use the time reversal skill. But if they lost, he would have to go back in time and plan to save the divine monkey manor. Rumble. A series of loud sounds echoed. The battle was very intense and people kept falling. If not for his lack of strength, Yi Xian would have collected the monkey soldiers and monkey generals' corpses. That way, Patian would be able to reach a higher level. The divine monkey manor's manor master's strength increased sharply after the transformation. However, the 3 human experts were not to be trifled with. They resorted to guerrilla warfare because they knew that the transformation had a time limit. Once the time limit was up, the divine monkey manor's manor master would not be able to recover. Indeed, the 3 of them were right. They succeeded in stalling for time, and the divine monkey manor's manor master's body began to shrink. What happened next was needless to say. The divine monkey manor's manor master died in battle and the divine monkey manor was divided. The situation is fixed. Looks like I have to take action. Yi Xian squinted his eyes and used the time reversal skill. Hua! In the blink of an eye, he returned to the time when he received the Sun Sage's message. Let's go to the Green Rock Pavilion and set their backyard on fire. Yi Xian squinted his eyes and asked Sun Lei to bring him to the Green Rock Pavilion. As long as something happened to the Green Rock Pavilion, the Green Rock Pavilion team would definitely not sit idly by and would most likely retreat. As long as they retreated, even if the Long Rainbow Sect and the Extreme Upper City worked together, they would not be able to do anything to the Divine Monkey Manor. Yi Xian's previous location was about the same as the Divine Monkey Manor's time. If they were to compare, the Green Rock Pavilion would be faster. After a few days, Yi Xian finally arrived at the Green Rock Pavilion. Along the way, he had overcome many difficulties and directly killed his way into the enemy camp. The Green Rock Pavilion, the Long Rainbow Sect and the Extreme Upper City had discussed and brought many experts. Therefore, there was only one great saint in the Green Rock Pavilion this time. Although the time reversal skill was used, Yi Xian had broken through to the 9th grade True Emperor realm and the heaven-splitting Divine Ape had returned to the 4th grade Half-Saint realm. There's no time to lose. Let's go. Yi Xian directly said to Heaven Splitting. The great saint in the Green Rock Pavilion would be held back by Heaven Splitting alone. As for the others, they would be dealt with by Black Horn. During this period of time, Yi Xian had obtained a large amount of heavenly treasures. Therefore, Black Horn had also broken through to the 3rd grade Saint realm. It was not a problem for him to fight someone 6 levels higher. Roar! After Black Horn appeared, he roared at the sky and charged toward the Green Rock Pavilion. Enemy attack! The guards of the Green Rock Pavilion immediately shouted when they saw Heaven Splitting and Black Horn. Since Heaven Splitting and Black Horn were 4th grade half-saints and 3rd grade saints respectively, they did not attract the attention of the great saint in the Green Rock Pavilion. However, after the front gate of the Green Rock Pavilion was lost, the great saint noticed them. Who are you? How dare you behave so atrociously in my Green Rock Pavilion? The human great saint leaped into the sky. At this time, he saw a figure charging toward him. It was Heaven Splitting. Heaven startling 36 strikes. Without saying anything, Heaven Splitting raised his hand and smashed down with his staff. Bang! The attack was blocked by the great saint of the Green Rock Pavilion. Although there was a huge gap between them, Heaven Splitting still made the opponent feel pressured. Is this the trump card of the Divine Monkey Manor? Chapter 1922. The great saint of Green Rock Pavilion knew that the pavilion master had brought experts to the Divine Monkey Mansion. Now that they were being attacked by the monkeys, they would definitely think of the Divine Monkey Mansion. You think you can kill me? The great saint of Green Rock Pavilion snorted. What he didn't know was that Heavenbreaker didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to hold him back. Black Horn had also charged into Green Rock Pavilion and was fighting the 9th grade saints. Heavenbreaker's battle time is limited. We have to end it quickly. Yi Xian narrowed his eyes and told Heavenbreaker to act according to plan. Boom! 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 Heavenbreaker, who was fighting with the great saint of Green Rock Pavilion, suddenly turned around and attacked the 9th grade saints with 36 strikes of the rod. Bam! 36 shadows of the rod smashed into 3 ninth-grade saints, killing 2 and injuring 1. Heavenbreaker's defense was amazing. He didn't need to defend against the Great Saint of Green Rock Pavilion's attacks. However, the Great Saint of Green Rock Pavilion couldn't stop Heavenbreaker from attacking the others. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth.
I'll devour.
Blackhorn took advantage of the fact that the remaining 9th-grade saint was severely injured to open his mouth wide. A force enveloped the severely injured 9th-grade saint and sucked him into Blackhorn's body along with the 2 corpses. In the next moment, the severely injured 9th-grade saint was devoured by Blackhorn and sent into the planting space. Once in the planting space, they couldn't do anything even if they were saints. That wasn't the main point. The main point was that Green Rock Pavilion only had 1 great saint and 3 ninth-grade saints. Now that 2 of the 3 ninth-grade saints were dead and 1 was missing, who else could stop Blackhorn?
Blackhorn, devour everyone.
Xianxia said.
Yes, boss. Blackhorn answered and opened his mouth again.
If even a 9th-grade saint was devoured by Blackhorn, the others couldn't possibly escape. After a few times, these people were swallowed by Blackhorn. Even the buildings were swallowed by Blackhorn. Green Rock Pavilion was completely annihilated. No, it was more like they were completely annihilated. There was only 1 great saint left.
You devoured them all?
The great saint of Green Rock Pavilion asked Blackhorn with wide eyes.
Of course not, they are not dead yet.
Blackhorn shook his head and said, I advise you to stop. Otherwise, I can't guarantee their lives. The great sage of the Green Rock Pavilion dared not attack again. Seeing this, Heavenbreaker also quickly distanced himself from his opponent. What do you want?
The great sage of Green Rock Pavilion asked.
It's very simple. I want you to send a message to your pavilion master to stop them from attacking the Divine Monkey Manor.
Blackhorn replied.
That's impossible. The Divine Monkey Manor has gone too far. How much of my Green Rock Pavilion's land has they already seized? The great sage of the Green Rock Pavilion gritted his teeth as he spoke. Black Cove said, That's none of my business. Anyway, I've delivered the message. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider. After 3 seconds, don't blame me for being heartless.
You.
The great sage of the Green Rock Pavilion angrily pointed at Black Cove, but he dared not refuse. After all, what if the other party decided to fight to the death? The Divine Monkey Manor was destroyed in the end, but the Green Rock Pavilion was also destroyed in the end. What was there left to play? Among the people who had been devoured by Blackhorn, there were the Pavilion Master's family and his family.
How do I know they're still alive?
The great sage of the Green Rock Pavilion asked.
Then I'll show you.
Blackhorn opened his mouth again and spat out some saints and half-sages. They were the people he had devoured previously.
Damn it!
The great sage of the Green Rock Pavilion cursed. Now, he was completely in a passive position.
3, 2.
Just as he was thinking, Blackhorn suddenly started counting down. The great sage of the Green Rock Pavilion hesitated. If he did not follow the other party's instructions after the countdown ended, the consequences would be unimaginable. He had no choice but to take out a communication token and send a message to the Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion, who was near the Divine Monkey Manor. What? The Green Rock Pavilion was attacked and everyone except you was captured? The Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion was shocked when he heard the news. Pavilion Master, what should I do now? The great sage of the Green Rock Pavilion asked softly. Pass the communication token to him. I'll talk to him. The Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion said. When the great sage of Green Rock Pavilion heard this, he threw the communication token in his hand to Blackhorn. Who are you? What do you want? The Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion asked. You don't have to ask. I only have one request, which is to see you. Once I see you, I'll let them go. Blackhorn said. See me? The Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion reacted immediately. The other party wanted him to give up on attacking the Divine Monkey Manor. I'm not a patient person. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider. If you don't retreat after 3 seconds, you'll have to bear the consequences. Blackhorn said. These words were what Xianxia wanted him to say. He did not change a single word. Fine, I'll retreat. The Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion gritted his teeth and ordered the retreat. After all, there was no other way. In the entire Green Rock Pavilion, other than the people he brought with him, only the great sage was left. Outside the Divine Monkey Manor, the city lord of the extreme upper city and the sect leader of the Long Rainbow sect were shocked when they saw what the Green Rock Pavilion did. Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion, what are you doing? The sect leader of the Long Rainbow sect asked. I've miscalculated. Someone took advantage of the time when I was leading the attack and took control of the people of the Green Rock Pavilion, forcing me to retreat. The Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion said. What? The city lord of the extreme upper city and the sect leader of the Long Rainbow sect looked at each other. Their hometown was tricked? Let's put this matter aside for now. The two of you better send a message back to ask about it. After the Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion finished speaking, he led the experts of the Green Rock Pavilion and retreated. The Divine Monkey Manor's sect leader was puzzled. He did not understand why the Green Rock Pavilion would retreat at this juncture. What happened? After the Green Rock Pavilion left, the extreme upper city and the Long Rainbow sect did not dare to stay any longer and retreated immediately. The crisis of the Divine Monkey Manor was resolved. The Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion retreated. Initially, he could have rushed back to the Green Rock Pavilion alone. However, he was worried that the Divine Monkey Manor's sect leader would come after him. Hence, he had to escort these people back. As such, it would take a few days for them to return. Xianxia knew this and hence, he wanted to meet the Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion. A few days later. Ding! Host has made a breakthrough. Currently a first-grade half-saint. Ding! Yanming Ghostly Lord, Wei Zhentian, Sky-Breaking Ape God have made a breakthrough. Currently a fifth-grade half-saint. Near the Green Rock Pavilion, 2 system notifications rang in Xianxia's mind. Now that Sky-Breaking's strength had increased again, he was no longer afraid of a first-grade great sage. However, he did not ask Sky-Breaking to take action immediately as he felt that the Pavilion Master of the Green Rock Pavilion would be back soon. Chapter 1923. I've already retreated according to your instructions. Are you still not going to release the captives? The Pavilion Master said to Black Horn. I can release the captives, but only 1/10 of them today. Black Horn said as he opened his mouth and released more than 10,000 captives. If he released 1/10 of them in one day, he would release all of them in 10 days. After 10 days, Potion's cultivation level would increase again. At that time, would he still be afraid of the Pavilion Master? 1/10. The Pavilion Master raised an eyebrow. He did not understand what Black Horn was planning. Why would he release a little bit every day? However, releasing 1/10 of the captives was better than nothing. What is this guy planning? The Pavilion Master and the other experts of the Green Rock Pavilion were puzzled. When they first met, Black Horn released 1/10 of the captives. On the second day, it was another 1/10. On the third day, it was still 1/10. The captives of the Green Rock Pavilion were slowly released by Black Horn. However, the Green Rock Pavilion would not do anything until all of them were released. A few days later, Xianxia broke through to the second-grade half-saint, and the Sky-Breaking Ape God reached the sixth-grade half-saint. At this time, Black Horn had already released more than half of the captives. Patian was in the planting space, so the people of the Green Rock Pavilion did not know. Very quickly, another few days passed. Today was the 10th day since Black Horn met the Pavilion Master. Today is the 10th day. Why are you still not releasing the captives? The Pavilion Master asked Black Horn. Don't be anxious. Wait a little longer. Black Horn grinned. After a while. Ding! The Sky-Breaking Ape God has broken through to the 7th-grade half-saint. A system notification sounded in Xianxia's mind. Finally he broke through. Okay, Black Horn, release the captives. Xianxia sent a sound transmission to Black Horn. Understood. Black Horn nodded. Then, he opened his mouth and released the remaining captives of the Green Rock Pavilion. Now, there was not a single captive left. The people of the Green Rock Pavilion did a quick count and found that no one was missing. However, the Green Rock Pavilion had lost 2 9th-grade saints that day. They had to take revenge. What do you want to do? The Green Rock Pavilion Master could not help but ask. Over the past 10 days, Black Cove had released 1/10 of its people every day. Apart from robbing the interspatial rings, no one had been hurt, which surprised the people of Green Rock Pavilion. Nothing. I'm just stalling for time. Black Cove replied. The pavilion master of the Green Rock Pavilion narrowed his eyes and decided not to ask any more questions. Wouldn't he know once he caught Blackhorn? Back then, you killed 2 ninth-grade saints of my Green Rock Pavilion. Now that you've released everyone, do you think you can still escape? Said the pavilion master of Green Rock Pavilion. Escape? Why would you want to escape? Black Cove asked. Go and capture him. The pavilion master of the Green Rock Pavilion ordered. As soon as the words left his mouth, 2 great sages rushed forward. For the past 10 days, Blackhorn had been waiting outside, so he did not enter the planting space to cultivate. His strength was still that of a 3rd-grade saint. With his current strength, facing a 9th-stage saint was already his limit. Now that there were 2 great saints, he had no chance of winning at all. However, he was not alone and without help. He opened his mouth, and in the next moment, a mini-figure appeared. It was the sky-splitting divine ape god wearing the mystic divine armor. Blackhorn's body was connected to the planting space, so the sky-splitting divine ape god could also come out of his mouth. Oh no! The great saint from the Green Rock Pavilion was shocked. Just as he was about to speak, heaven-splitting attacked. 36 rod strikes of the sky. Heaven-splitting did not hold back at all. He split his rod into 36 rod shadows and smashed them toward the 2 great saints of the Green Rock Pavilion. Bam! Bam! This scene happened so suddenly that even the pavilion master of the Green Rock Pavilion did not expect it. In the blink of an eye, the 2 great saints of the Green Rock Pavilion fell from the sky. More than 10 days ago, Heaven-splitting had fought with the 1st great saint guarding the Green Rock Pavilion as a 4th-grade half-saint. Although he was at a disadvantage, he still exchanged a few blows with the 1st great saint guarding the Green Rock Pavilion. More than 10 days later, Heaven-splitting had broken through to the 7th-grade half-saint. It was very normal for him to kill a great saint in one blow. One had to know that Heaven-splitting had advanced by 3 grades. How is this possible? The pavilion master of the Green Rock Pavilion was shocked. There were only 5 first-grade saints in the Green Rock Pavilion. Now that 2 of them had died, it was a huge blow to their foundation. That was not the main point. The main point was that they were killed by a half-saint. How was this possible? After today, there will be no more Green Rock Pavilion. A cold voice rang out. Everyone turned their heads to look at the source of the voice. They discovered that the speaker was a 4th-stage half-saint. Who? Without waiting for them to ask, Heaven-splitting attacked again. 36 rod strikes of the sky. No one present could withstand this move. Not even the pavilion master of the Green Rock Pavilion. The pavilion master of the Green Rock Pavilion seemed to see the shadow of the divine monkey manor lord in Heaven-splitting. No. Heaven-splitting's heroic appearance was not something the divine monkey manor lord could compare to. Rumble. Although Heaven-splitting was only a 7th-grade half-saint, he challenged the entire Green Rock Pavilion alone. After 3 strikes, there were no more great saints in the Green Rock Pavilion. Even the pavilion master of the Green Rock Pavilion had fallen. After today, there would be no more Green Rock Pavilion. Everyone, come in. Blackhorn suddenly opened his mouth wide. Under Heaven-splitting's pressure, the saints of the Green Rock Pavilion did not have the heart to resist and were swallowed by Blackhorn into the planting space. The Green Rock Pavilion was destroyed. 15 days ago, I couldn't even deal with a 1st-grade great saint. 15 days later, the entire Green Rock Pavilion was destroyed. The immortal grade devouring system is really scary. Xianxia could not help but shudder. At this moment, he suddenly recalled a terrifying memory. It was the owner of the Imperial Beast Messenger bloodline. If he had died in the hands of the other party, the immortal grade devouring system would have been taken away by the other party. Fortunately, he had successfully killed the other party. Otherwise, he would have become the host. Now that the matter was settled, Xianxia had to rush to the Divine Monkey Manor. Just in case, he decided to take his time. This way, he would have a 100% chance of defeating the Divine Monkey Manor Lord when he met him. After Heaven-splitting broke through to the 8th-grade half-saint, Xianxia arrived near the Divine Monkey Manor and summoned Heaven-splitting. Where is the Divine Monkey Manor Lord? Xianxia shouted loudly. When Heaven-splitting appeared, everyone in the Divine Monkey Manor was shocked. In the entire Divine Monkey Manor, only the 4 great saints and the Divine Monkey Manor Lord could do that. Who could it be? Soon, Yi Xian saw the divine monkey manor lord rush out.
He glanced at Heaven Splitting, who was on Yi Xian's shoulder, and said, "You are. Why do you think the Green Rock Pavilion retreated?"
Yi Xian said with a half-smile.
The divine monkey manor lord was stunned.
You did it? Chapter 1924. The Green Rock Pavilion was no more. The divine monkey manor lord was slightly shocked when he heard this. However, the divine monkey manor could also destroy the Green Rock Pavilion, so this was not a big deal. However, Yi Xian and the rest were not even great sages. What right did they have to destroy the Green Rock Pavilion? How did you guys do it? The divine monkey manor lord could not help but ask. You don't need to know how I did it. I helped you because I don't want the divine monkey manor to be destroyed. I have something to ask you.
As Yi Xian spoke, he glanced at Petion and said, Manor Lord, have you heard of the divine monkey palace of the 12 divine beast palaces?
12 divine beast palaces. Divine monkey palace.
Hearing this, the divine monkey manor lord trembled and said directly, Never heard of it.
Of course, he had heard of it before. However, Yi Xian's background was unknown, so he would not tell Yi Xian. Yi Xian looked at the divine monkey manor lord's subtle movements and his eyes lit up. It seemed that the divine monkey manor lord knew something. Divine monkey palace, divine monkey manor. These names were very similar. In addition, the divine monkey manor lord also knew shocking staff techniques. Therefore, Yi Xian guessed that he knew about the divine monkey palace. Manor lord, you are not being kind. I helped you to solve the crisis and just wanted to ask you something. Why are you not telling me? Yi Xian narrowed his eyes. I didn't ask for your help. Moreover, I don't know what the 12 divine beast palaces and divine monkey palace are. The divine monkey manor lord shook his head. Is that so? Yi Xian smirked and said, Manor lord, don't blame me for not warning you. If I can destroy the Green Rock Pavilion, I can also destroy your divine monkey manor. Don't make a mistake. You. The divine monkey manor lord's face suddenly turned cold. The divine monkey manor was the strongest in this area. They were the ones who bullied others. Who dared to threaten him? Even when facing the Green Rock Pavilion, the Long Rainbow Sect, and the extreme upper city, the divine monkey manor lord had no fear. What's more, Yi Xian and the others were juniors who hadn't even reached the Saint Realm. However, his intuition told him that Yi Xian and the others were not simple. After all, the one who spoke was Yi Xian and not Blackhorn, a 4th-grade saint. What caught the attention of the divine monkey manor lord the most was the mini monkey wearing armor on Yi Xian's shoulder. Supreme Sage Scorching Sun. Go up and meet them. The divine monkey manor's manor lord suddenly spoke. Yes. A red-haired monkey answered and walked out. Heavenbreaker also understood that it was time for him to take the stage, so he stepped forward. Are you sure you want to fight me? I'm afraid I'll kill you with one hit. Great Sage Burning Sun said. Creak creak? Then why don't you try and kill me? Seeing Heavenbreaker's mocking expression, Great Sage Scorching Sun took out his red staff and mercilessly swung it at Heavenbreaker. Gotcha! This attack landed accurately on Heavenbreaker's body. However, it was blocked by the Mystic Divine Battle Armor first. The Mystic Divine Battle Armor only cracked a little. The Mystic God Armor was transformed by Wei Zhentian. Wei Zhentian was now an 8th-grade half-saint like Heavenbreaker. In addition, it was a 3rd-grade Dharma treasure, so its defense was very strong. Great Sage Scorching Sun's attack could not even break the defense of the Mystic God Armor, let alone Heavenbreaker. What? How is this possible? My strike couldn't even break through his armor? Supreme Sage Burning Sun was shocked. Among the 4 great sages of the Divine Monkey Manor, his attack power was the strongest. In addition, he had condensed hundreds of fundamental monkey hairs, so his strength was stronger than a 2nd-grade great sage. However, this was... Creak. My turn. Just as Supreme Sage Scorching Sun was overwhelmed with shock, Heavenbreaker struck with lightning speed. 36 staves of the heavens. Bam! When the staff landed on Supreme Saint Scorching Sun's body, it actually caused his shoulder to cave in. That was not the main point. The main point was that Heavenbreaker did not use his full strength. He only used about 30% of his strength. Even if it was only 30% of his strength, it was enough to kill Great Sage Scorching Sun instantly. If he had hit Great Sage Scorching Sun's chest, his heart would have exploded. So strong. Everyone was in shock. Great Sage Scorching Sun's eyes widened. He had smelled the scent of death just now, but he did not expect death to be so close to him. He knew that Heaven Breaker had held back. Otherwise, he would have been smashed into minced meat. Horrifying. This was too horrifying. Was this really just an 8th grade half-saint? Gulp. The other 3 great sages and the divine monkey manor lord swallowed their saliva one after another. This strength was probably above that of the divine monkey manor lord. Where did this little monkey come from? The divine monkey manor lord was stunned. He estimated the opponent's strength. If they all attacked together, they might be able to fight. Go capture him. The divine monkey manor lord shouted. In the next moment, the other 3 great sages moved together and attacked Heaven Breaker together with the divine monkey manor lord. You overestimate yourselves. Xianxia coldly snorted and gave the order to Heaven Breaker. Heaven Breaker was already an 8th grade saint. He had even killed the Green Rock Pavilion Lord. Moreover, when he came to the divine monkey manor, his cultivation level had increased again. These people were no different from the Green Rock Pavilion Lord in front of him. 36 rod strikes of the sky. Soon, the battle was over. Everyone, including the divine monkey manor lord, was defeated. Black Horn Devour. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Xianxia quickly ordered. The divine monkey manor lord fell to the ground with heavy injuries. Before he could react, the monkey soldiers and monkey generals were devoured by Black Horn and sent into the planting space. This was a huge fortune. With so many monkey soldiers and monkey generals, there would at least be a strand of origin monkey hair. Who are you? The divine monkey manor lord could not help but ask when he saw the monkey soldiers and monkey generals that he had painstakingly nurtured being devoured by Black Horn. If you had answered my question earlier, you wouldn't have ended up like this. But don't worry, these people are not dead. They are very safe. Xianxia grinned. The planting space was indeed very safe. However, after the monkey soldiers and monkey generals were sent in, their origin monkey hair was directly plucked out. At the same time, Heaven Breaker was also taken in by Xianxia and then quickly summoned out again. At this time, the number of origin monkey hairs on Heaven Breaker's body had reached 1,000. Although Xianxia had obtained more than 1,000 origin monkey hairs this time, Heaven Breaker's cultivation level was not high enough. At most, he could refine 1,000 origin monkey hairs. As long as he continued to break through, he could continue to refine them. This was not the main point. The main point was that these monkey soldiers and monkey generals would be Heaven Breaker's backyard army in the future. Xianxia wanted them to continuously refine origin monkey hairs and give them to Heaven Breaker. If that's the case, then take me in too, the divine monkey manor lord said. All right, as you wish.